Feels like a Wednesday night, baby. Feels like a Wednesday night, but it's not. I just got my days all screwed up going live on a Thursday. What's this world coming to, Chad?
It's all good. Happy roses and beer.
Yeah. I'm starting actually.
We're live.
We're there. I'm starting with a little see-through whiskey ginger ale because that was what I had readily available. But I threw some beers in the cooler next to me just in case I stay thirsty.
I'll have my backup. So I thought I'd start with a lime. A little.
Oh yeah, sounds refreshing.
Yeah, summertime drink, right? Lime Bud Light, and then I went to the blue Bud Light. And if I have to, I'll have to excuse myself for like maybe 10 seconds to run to my cooler.
Yeah.
And
you might have to, and you just might have to. It's been known to happen.
Yeah, although as much as we talk, sometimes the beer doesn't go down as fast.
That's true. It depends which one of us talking more. In the description of the episode, I had even said, quite possibly the one guy that's louder than me. I
posted that. Took a picture of it and posted it online.
Yeah, I think that's like a fair assessment. I think like quite possibly you're louder than me, which is hard to do.
I think it's equal. I'm going to say equal. You just never heard someone equaling you before.
That's probably what it is. It depends which one of us has had one more to drink and has a funnier story we're about to tell, because then we get even a little bit louder. Yeah, that still cracks me up when we went out when I was down in Dallas and we both got scolded at the same
trouble
by different people
in the bar at Bob's Chop and Steakhouse. They actually, essentially told us to be quiet and to watch the 4-letter words a little bit, because we were just having a good time, right?
We were having a good time. We were letting some 4-letter words fly, and we were loud. If they saw us walk in and that wasn't what they wanted, they should have turned us around right when we walked in. It should have been like, I see it on these two guys already. Get these hooligans out of here. But they continued to serve us. So,
well, the funny thing is they said it's because of the kids, and we both looked around.
Yeah, like the youngest people next to us were like
there.
Yeah, the youngest people next to us were in their mid-20s. I'm just like, these kids, like these kiddos, they're fine. Yeah. These guys are fine.
It was fun.
Let me. I gotta do this little thing. Hey, if you're tuning in, thanks for tuning in. Drop a comment. Let us know who you are, where you're tuning in from, what's your business, what you got going on. One of my favorite little games to play in the comment section is who can drop the best emoji sequence and tell a story with it. Ooh. Seen some real good ones. Seen some dandy stories. That would be a fun story sequence is emojis of the favorite time you got scolded at a restaurant by a server or a manager. Tell me that story in emojis. Whoever does that gets a free bookkeeping setup. Giving away free $500 worth. That's a $500 value if you can give me an entertaining emoji sequence. Just for fun. Just because we can. Because why not? Tell me a story of when you got... And then here's what I like to do, Chad. I just want them to give me the emojis, and then I want to tell the story the way I read those emojis. And so it's kind of like a really shitty game of telephone. It's just like a terrible game of telephone, but I like doing it.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I love it.
So you were in we're going to get to business stuff, but let's catch up on some personal stuff. You said right before we went live, you took, I got to do this. Chad Murray, everybody. Chad Murray's in the house. Servicepreneur coach Chad, ask him how he can double your profits. I bet he's got a lot of ways you can double your profits.
Yeah.
So it's not just a one-trick pony. But before we jumped on, Chad, you were saying, and you had mentioned this on our Turfs Up radio show a few weeks ago. You were headed to Florida, and 2 weeks, I think you said you're going to Florida for like 2 weeks with the fam. Yeah. And you said it was the best vacation you've ever had. Enlighten us. How so? What do we all need to do to live that life?
Well, first of all, you got to get your business where you're able to take a vacation like that, right?
That is a very true statement.
Super true. And after being retired from operations for 10 years from my service business, which the service business is what pays the bills. That's what my wife's money is, the service business money. So whatever she has left over is hers. my marketing company and my coaching company, that's my money. That's Mo money right here. And so I pretty much paid, like I paid for 2 weddings with that. I got I got 2 grandkids on the way and 1 already born. And so gonna be an eventful summer.
Gotta spoil them.
Two boys. So I have all girls. I got 2 boys being born here in the next 6 weeks.
Equilibrium is setting in. A little mean reversion action at play.
Yes, there's going to be some more balls in this family, and so we
that's
really
good.
like that.
Yeah, you've been outnumbered for far too long. You've been outnumbered.
So to get to the question, we took a 12-day vacation to Destin. Well, not Destin, Seaside, 30A down in just east of Destin, and it took us 3 days to get there, it's only an 11-hour drive from here, but we took 3 days.
Yeah, got to see some sights. Did you like get in the bayou and kick some gators or what?
We went to the bayou. We went to New Orleans. We went to the World War II Museum, which was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And then we drove to Mobile and got on the Battleship Alabama for the last couple hours. It was open in 1 day. So we did all World War II on the second day of the trip, which was awesome. Then the next day got to Florida, and then I just pretty much for 9 days sat on the beach, and it was just freaking awesome. And we were there during the shark attacks. Matter of fact, it was just a beach over.
What the hell happened? I didn't hear about these shark attacks.
Oh yeah. Lots of bait fish came in, which is very rare for this side of Texas, Florida, and about 1,000 sharks showed up.
Oh, damn.
I got it on video. You didn't see the video on Facebook? I did?
No.
I was literally standing 20 minutes earlier prior to where the shark just swam by. He literally, like if he put a statue of me, he'd have bit me if I was still standing.
You would have kicked his ass.
Yeah.
Don't let him off.
Just go for the nose, right? Just go for the nose.
Yeah.
And so
you'd have been like Happy Gilmore. You'd have been like Happy Gilmore in that alligator. You just destroyed him.
No. And so I am way less scared of an alligator than I am a shark. I will wrestle an alligator. Sharks, I don't think I got a chance.
No, you don't. I take that back. I bet if you were on land, you could beat them.
About 30 feet on land from the water. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
with a knife. Yeah, with a knife.
300 feet, like way on land.
Anywhere on land.
Yeah, you can get him.
So anyway, had the vacation, planning another vacation for our 30th anniversary to Italy, late August, first week and a half of September. That's going to be awesome.
That is going to be
awesome. Here's the trick, guys, is get your life to where you can enjoy that. So this year I will have 4 trips under my belt. 4 trips. Last year I took 1. I'm at 4 this year. Now 4 is good. 4 is enough, but even though I don't work at my service company, I still work as a business coach, and my marketing companies we're on hiatus selling because we're maxed out with who we can take on. So that's cool. So I just that just cha-chings the marketing company. Yeah. And so that's the perfect business. I don't do anything. And so that's good. And then the coaching is going well. I started a new business group for servicepreneurs, and I had a webinar today. I had 150 people sign up for the webinar.
Sweet.
And had the webinar today. And
that's a meaty webinar, man. That's a meaty webinar.
Well, I didn't say 150 showed up. I said 150.
I was going to say my experience with webinars is it's about a 50% show up rate on it's kind of like interviewing technicians. Like if you hit 50% show up rate, I feel like that's a pretty good dish.
Well, my show up rate was bad today. We probably targeted the wrong audience, so we're gonna go hit it again next week. And so, but I have some signups, so that's good. So things are going well. I mean, really. I mean, I've had a couple good. I have something that's unique in the coaching business. Most coaches clients stick around for, I think the national average is around 7 months. My average is almost 4 years.
Yeah.
My client, and the reason why I can say almost 4 years is because I started coaching 5 years ago, and I still have 7 of my initial 10 that I coach.
Hell yeah.
So I mean,
I don't. Here's a thought, and you can tell me if this is right or wrong. But my guess is a lot of coaches are not that far ahead of the people that they're coaching. And so maybe they have some things they can lend, but that expertise gets exhausted pretty quick. And you have said this on previous episodes and on Turfs Up Radio. You had done a window cleaning business for a while and learned a bunch of things and made a bunch of mistakes. And then in the chimney business, you've really like reiterated it a few times. And you've scaled it and grown it $5+ million and still growing it. That was just the last time I talked to you. I don't know where it's at now. But so I think it gives you more runway to coach in that you've done a numerous amount of different things and you've been at it for a long time and you've been able to screw a bunch of shit up. And therefore that just makes you that much more valuable of a coach. And so you can keep bringing expertise and experiences. There it is. Operation Entrepreneur Freedom.
I wrote a book about how much you screw up and how much I learned, and so, I mean, but I'll tell you, here's why I have such a long following of people that I coach. It's because I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, I'm a mentor. So coaches, let's define what those three things are. A coach talks to people and tries to facilitate them to get their own answers, to help them get there, ask the right questions so they can solve their own problems. Mm-hmm. What does a consultant do? A consultant tells you how to do it.
Yep.
A consultant is, I'm here, this is what's wrong, or this is what could be better, and let's fix
Here's the thing to do. We're going to do this. Here's how I'm going to chip in, whatever.
And then what's a mentor? A mentor is someone who's not only reached the peak, done everything that you could probably do, and has a little coaching, has a little this, listens a lot better, cheerleads. So I mean, I really take on, when you start getting to people who've been with you 3-4 years, you start taking on more of a mentorship role. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, it's funny. Like in the last month, barring the vacation time, let's just go to the last 6 weeks. I've had some of the best meetings with my older clients, getting their business, keep going. And and this year I've had 2 companies broach the 5 million. One I coached from 4 million to 10 million. I've had some pretty good successes with doing it. And if you talk to these people, and this isn't me just patting myself on the back, they will tell you that they would have not done it without me. I mean, we just got them on the right direction. They're the right entrepreneurs in the right type of niche, in the right markets, added the right markets. I have a marketing background, coaching, military. I just have a lot of ways to look at stuff and ask questions. I don't have to know your business. I can come up with ideas and how to do it. I know how to run a service business, but I also know how to run just a business because it's not that far different. Like with you, when I first met you, we were worried about your culture. You had a little bit of a culture issue. I showed you some things, and you literally, the next day showed a video that I showed everybody.
Yeah, I was like on my way to St. Louis, and that was the thing. I was like, I got to work on our culture, and that was what we talked about.
I just showed that. We had a company meeting at Masters Friday. Took the day off. Everybody meet. One time I come out and I come there and talk to everybody, and I'm with everybody for the full day. And that night we have a party. I showed the YouTube or the You Matter video again just last Friday for my own company.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, when we did the round, when we went around the room and asked everybody at the end of the day before we were going to have everyone break, go home, get their families, and have a dinner, I go to everybody, what was your favorite thing about today? And 80% of everybody said that You Matter video and what you are behind that video. We could feel that you didn't just show that video. You do think this about us. And so does the management. And so, I mean, that's the difference. I mean, it's one thing to coach and do everything, but are you real? And when you're doing a company and you're running a company, management-wise as well, are you everything that you preach? I mean, I find a lot of people aren't. They want something so bad. I've got a client right now. This guy wants it so bad, yet he's not willing to put the time in. He's scatterbrained. I try to get him directed. I mean, and he can't do it. And I'm almost to the point, seriously, I've coached him long enough to where I might give up on him. And not because I'm a bad coach. There's a certain amount of time where people just won't listen. They're just not the right client for you.
And sometimes the timing's not right too, right? Like sometimes people are just not in the space to take action on the things that they need to take action on, and what that catalyst is that needs to kick them in the nuts, whenever it hits them, they'll be ready, but they ain't always ready to do it. Two things here. Grandma Jane jumped on. What's up, Grandma Jane? I owe my Grandma Jane a birthday card. I was back in town for her birthday, and then one of my kids got a massive fever, and then I started getting it. And so, like, we drove 3 hours to go see her, and, like, we got there, and then we had to turn around and drive 3 hours back. It was not a super fun day of driving, but I still have her birthday card, and I got to just give her a shout and catch up with her. She's my grandma. So what's up, Grandma? We got the best damn bookkeeping team hitting the chat up here. What's up? Skip heard, and if you're just tuning in, the contest tonight is drop an emoji story into the chat. I love the emoji stories. Tell me a story via emojis. And Chad and I were earlier when we first started, were reminiscing about when we got scolded twice in a restaurant for being loud and swearing a little too much. So if you got a good restaurant story of like getting scolded, getting kicked out, causing a little bit of trouble in a restaurant, whether as a customer or as an employee, we'll take either one. Tell me that story with emojis. Whoever does the best story, you get a free bookkeeping setup, courtesy of Best Damn Bookkeeping. And I'm going to read your story of emojis, just however I read it. So I'm just going to like give it whatever context goes along with it. Skip dropped one in. Skip, you don't get a free setup. You're the one that's got to do the setup for free. Plus
he didn't follow directions. He came afterwards. He's just saying drunk. Drank too
much beer, and then I followed that up with a beer and 37 more beers. Cheers. And then we got kicked out. That was what it was. Skip suggested when you do get in that fight with the shark, you just gotta give him the old eye poke, just a boop, and then maybe I don't know how far apart their eyes are, probably pretty far apart, but otherwise
it's probably it's probably like that.
Yeah, you could do like the Three Stooges style. Katie's checking in, giving us the applause. What's up, Katie? And Charity says BDB in the house. Whole bunch of my team checking in. Thanks, guys. Chad, so you're talking Italy. I want to get back to this Italy trip, and then we'll get back into business stuff. Are you an itinerary guy when you go on like big vacations? I know in Florida you're just like, yeah, my itinerary is sit on the beach and drink a bunch of beers. But I feel like when you go overseas, Europe, you're like, I want to go see this and I want to go see that. And it gets a little bit itinerary laden. Are you an itinerary dude, or are you more like a let's get over there and we'll figure it out?
United States, I'm a let's go figure it out. In Europe, this will be my first time going. And a buddy of mine told me, don't do the you think you know what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. Just here's my travel agent. And I have other buddies that told me what a great trip that he had. And nice. And they didn't listen to him last year, and their time was not as pleasurable as his. So I contacted the guy. Just got our itinerary on Monday, and I had a budget, and it exceeded the budget. Not terribly, not to where it was like I'm not going to pay. I didn't pay Monday night. I'm going to pay tomorrow, and I gave you 5 days to think about it. But $34,000 going to Europe, that's a big vacation.
That's a big one.
I mean, two people.
You can for sure justify $30,000. It's your 30th anniversary. So,
I had 25 in mind, and he came back at 28. And then I still have the first 3 days or the first 4 days I have to pay for, because I didn't tell you what the first 4 days are there for.
Well, there's bonus days.
The beginning days I'm going there, the reason why we picked Italy wasn't because my wife's in love with Italy, even though she is, it's called Spazzazzamini. And what Spazzazzamini is, it's the
Spazzazzamini sounds like the thing that you say when you're having a spasm. Spazzazzamini.
It is the Chimney Sweep World Fair.
There's a thing that's a Chimney Sweep World Fair.
Small town in Italy, and all chimney sweeps from around the world show up.
So what you're telling me is
Oktoberfest, Drunk Fest.
Yeah, so this is a tax write-off. This is a tax write-off.
Oh, it's a major tax write-off.
Yeah.
But I have to get the European, which I already have now, European chimney sweep outfit with all the buttons. I already have the top hat.
Yeah, when you get up to get your beer, can you whip up that outfit for us so we can check that thing out?
No, I get the top hat out. Yes, but the uniform. No, matter of fact, the top hat is where is it? Right here. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, this is good. We're getting it like, oh yeah, holy smoke! You look like a guy that would wear a top hat. You look like you're in a Harry Potter movie right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so really I've never actually worn this. I got this a couple years ago. I've never actually worn it.
That thing looks like it was made for you.
It is. It was made for me. This is like
tell.
a real thing. This is no fake
hat.
costume hat. This fucker right here costs like $300. My wife got it.
That's only now it's a tax write-off. You make a journal entry, put that baby in the expense category instead of person.
So I'm trying to figure out these ears thing. Maybe I put the ears on the inside. I don't know. But yeah, it's the World Fair and everybody. It's a drunk fest. They love Americans. I gotta go buy these little pins. I gotta spend like $800 on pins. You give them out there, but they give you pins. And you just put them all over your uniform. It's really cool. And so I've never been. I've had buddies of mine that are all gone. And imagine Oktoberfest with everybody being a chimney sweep in your own niche, and all over the world. That's crazy. What this is, and it's going to be fun.
That's going to be super fun. I just can't wrap my mind around like a worldwide industry fair sort of thing. And especially, I mean, like in a niche like that. I mean, like
you need to know about the niche a little bit more. Let me give you a little education, Dan.
Yeah, hit us with the chimney sweep niche. I imagine chimney sweep's been around for a minute.
Oh, I'm not going to say it's the oldest profession, but it's in the top 5 oldest professions.
It's got to be up there.
Residential houses started being made
right next to a cook. Cooks have been around for a long time, but I bet chimney sweep's been up there.
So in Europe, across the pond, chimney sweeps are actually hired by the government. It's a government job, and it's a good government job, and they only clean chimneys. There's another industry that does all the repairs. So you get your own little town or your own little territory, depending on the town, and you own that town to clean their chimneys. You work you government pay, government everything, benefits, all that kind of stuff. This is Europe now, and you don't call the chimney sweep when you get your chimney sweep. They call you, and you have to comply.
It's just taxed. It's already
they come in, they charge you whatever they're charging, and it's all done by the government, sets all the prices, and they come in and they clean the chimney, and you have to be there when they say they're going to be there.
I don't know. That sounds neat. I think I'd rather be Chad Murray in the United States running a for-profit private enterprise than
why they love us Americans, because we are. I mean, I'm in the top 1% of chimney companies. I'm in the top 20 of the world largest chimney companies, and your average chimney companies, I don't know, $800,000 to $1 million. I'm 5 times that.
Couple dudes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 4 or 5 employees usually, and that's typically what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it is a good. How
long are you gonna be over there for?
I'm gonna be there for about 12 days.
Hell yeah.
So
where are you all going in Italy then?
So we go there, which is some dinky town. I can't even think of the name of it right now. But then after that, we take the rail to Florence, and we spend 3 days in Florence, maybe 2 days in Florence. And we're doing an old winery, a wine vineyard tour, a cheese thing, a cheese factory, old time cheese factory, all in one day, and the drinks are supposed to be a real good day. Then we after that, I don't remember what we do the second day, and then on the next day we take the rail to Rome, and then we get to Rome and we do a little sightseeing thing, like a 3-hour tour, and then the next day we do the full-on, all-inclusive Colosseum tour, underneath, all through it, the whole deal. Most people take what's called a half tour. Oh no, we're doing the all day
around
I want to see it. I want to see where everybody died. And go through that, and then we do some other couple days of bullshitting around, looking at Rome. I hear you can spend like a month in Rome and you still won't see everything. So we'll do a couple days of doing some that stuff, and then we go to the Amalfi Coast for 4 days just to hang out.
The what? What's it called? I don't even know what that is.
The Amalfi Coast. It's the European look where you see all the white, nice houses and stuff that are all on a cliff. Yeah, that all overlook the Mediterranean, and that's where it's at. And so
Charity says she's picturing Bert from Mary Poppins. That's you. And then she said, make sure to visit some ancient Roman toilets.
Yeah.
When you said, the European look, this is just, me minding the gutter. I was just picturing like a topless beach. And I thought that was where you were going with it. And then you just took a different route altogether.
I'll go topless.
I bet you will. Put on your sunscreen. Grandma's checking in. She said, remember when we went to England? I was just thinking that. So I studied in England for a semester when I was in college. I like to say I studied abroad, and her name was Michelle. But I studied in England for a semester, and before school started, me and a group of acquaintances, we didn't even know each other that well, but 7 of us went to Italy together for 10 days, and we did Venice for a few, Florence for a few, and Rome for a few. I've lost a lot of brain cells since then, so all the memories are a little bit foggy, but it was a hell of a time. And yeah, Rome, you couldn't. It was endless. There's just so much.
We have a choice: Venice or Florence. Which would you prefer?
So they're just different. So I think it just kind of depends what your vibe is. Florence was super chill, and so if that fits into what you're shooting for, it was a super cool town. There's a big hill in town, so you can get up on there and just the sights are amazing. And Venice is just one of a kind. I mean, it's so unique with the canals. And I mean, it's all canals. You get over there and it's miles of canals. And that's just kind of a cool once. That's just the place you can see that. And so it's just you can go on a gondola ride. It's not pristine waters. It's they're polluted-ish, brackish.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
Gross waters. But it's still cool. There's a cool cathedral out there in the midst of all that. I don't think you can go wrong. So I think if you put a gun to my head, I'd say Venice just because of how unique it is.
Really? But I think we're going for chill this time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny that the guy, my tour guide or whatever, the travel guy goes, yeah, you should see Venice once at least, because you never know, it might not be there next time you come. And then if we did go to Venice, we would also take a boat, an hour ride out of Venice to this other island where they have this the oldest cheese factory in the world, and goes glass blowing in this one cheese factory is on this one island, and we're kind of like that. Okay, then hour boat ride in the Mediterranean. Yeah. I think I'd rather just go to Florence.
Cheese is, cheese cool, but cheese is cheese, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, Gouda. I can Gouda that.
Yeah. Grandma Jane says Venice. She's pro Venice. Skip says, if that is the definition of studying abroad, then I am a world travel student. And Ron Musgrave's checking in. What's up, Ron? Good to hear from you, man. Here's the deal. If you're just checking in, I'm looking for an emoji story. I got Charity's up here. I'm going to do my best interpretation of Charity's story. Early on when we started the episode, Chad and I were BSing about we almost got kicked out of a steakhouse just because we're so loud. I mean, I'm loud. And Chad, I think Chad's louder than me. He says he thinks we're the same volume. But we're in a bar catching up. We hadn't seen each other in 2 years probably.
Yeah.
And so we're catching up, telling stories. Few F-bombs probably flying around, and the bartender told us to in a very kind way told us to take it easy because there were kids around, and Chad and I looked around and
no kids around.
The youngest person was at least in their mid-20s, and we're like,
yeah,
well, I don't know, I feel like they probably know more bad words than we do, they're of that age. And then I got the look from a lady at the table next to us while we were eating. She's just
we were dropping them pretty good. We'd had a few by that time.
She burned through me with her
and
look.
By the way, we're not in any normal restaurant. We're at Bob's Chop and Steakhouse. It's a white cloth table restaurant.
Oh, it's a really nice restaurant.
And it's got a pretty good sized little bar going around. But yeah, we were
living
just
it
being us.
We were living our best lives. We were living our
Absolutely.
best lives, and other people weren't ready for us. So here's Charity's story. Here's my best interpretation. Charity had a reservation date clearly with the calendar, but then something went wrong with that reservation. It fell through, and so she tried to use money to solve that problem. Tried to probably pay off the restaurant to uphold the reservation, but then it aggregated, doubled down, and they just took all of her money, sent her home. She got lost via the map, and then she went back home and had to eat there. She got kicked out. The reservation got canceled. They took all of her money. She went back home. That's a charity story.
I'm thinking the car is the date didn't happen, money, lots of money, and decided to go home and eat because the restaurant bailed on them. So they got DoorDash.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably did. The restaurant took their money, and then they doubled down and got a whole bag of money to pay for DoorDash.
Yeah.
And then the map is for the directions to get the DoorDasher to their house to drop food off. What are you doing awake? Go listen to a home service happy hour podcast and put yourself to sleep. Yeah. Danny in the house. Say what's up. Say in the microphone.
What's up?
There you go. It's funny because you can't hear yourself, but I can because the sound's coming through here.
Oh.
That's cool.
Oh, that's right. She can't hear us, can she?
She can't hear anything. Here.
Okay.
You hear something?
No.
We hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go to bed.
Okay,
Go
bye.
listen to a podcast. I love you.
Okay, bye.
Get out of here. Is your brother sleeping? Is your sister sleeping? Are you sleeping? Go to bed. All right.
All right.
There we go. We nailed charities. That's for sure exactly what she was going for there. Grandma Jane. Hey, Danny. Grandma Jane says hi. Skip says the car is a paddy wagon. So where is the chimney business at? Because I think the last time you're on the podcast, it was my old bookkeeping beer and BS podcast, and you had just started really pushing on the masonry stuff, and making a bigger move in masonry. Is that carrying on the way you wanted it to? How is the chimney business evolving for you?
It's definitely a learning curve to have masons, because you have to realize when you get some good masons, they're artists. Mm-hmm. And it, it's not just throw shit together and boom, you got a wall, and especially when you're doing a chimney. I mean, there's some artistic stuff that we can do and did. So you got to learn how to price that right. And most masons never really leave 4 or 5 feet. They really don't work on scaffolding. They certainly don't work on roofs until they come work with us. And then you got to realize when they say, this took us a year to figure out. They say, okay, that job right there to tear that chimney down is going to be 4 days. It's going to take me and my tender and one other helper 4 days to do that. It's really going to take them 8. No, seriously. We lost our ass a couple years back.
Is it just because they're only thinking of the time that they're actually touching something and not all the time going back and forth and setting up and doing this and scaffolding and
it's just a totally different animal than just literally laying brick all day, right? Where you're on maybe your feet and then maybe a 2-foot scaffold, then a 4-foot scaffold, and you're just going straight lines, right? No, you're going like this all the way around it. You're throwing stuff up and down. They're waiting as much as they are laying. Trying to get that. So it's a different animal. So yes, we are at the 5 million this year. Finally, we've had for the most part this year has been awesome. May was still a gut kick to us. June has
you guys have like the most inverted seasonality of the home service industry, because everybody else, April and May, like any other industry, April and May is usually gangbusters, and you
lost 135,000 in April or in May.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you're a bigger company, that's still a lot of money, but that's common for us.
I was gonna say, percentage wise, it's your infrastructure. That's what it takes.
What it is. Yeah, I mean. So anyway, yeah, things are great. I tried the COO experience to find a good COO. Found out that me and the headhunter that helped me do it, this guy just wasn't it. I mean, nice guy. The company hated his guts. And
how long did he stick around for?
We had for about 15 months. And I gave the business back to my general manager. Now, you got to realize it's the who, not how, right? So you got to have the right who's. Yeah. And my general manager, who I brought up, who had been manager at different companies before, and ran the company for 10 years, doubled the sales in 10 years. but his deficiencies I knew weren't going to get me to 7, 8, 10 million. And so when we decided to let go of the COO, I said to John, my general manager, I said, listen, I'll give the reins back to you, but we got to talk about why I hired this guy in the first place. It's not that you're inadequate. That's not the problem at all. You've never run a $10 million company. So that's a different animal than a $5 million company. And broaching 4 to 5, it's a big difference. I mean, that it's like going from 1 to 2 million. It's when you take a $1 million service company and go to 2 million, that's two different animals. That's different.
Absolutely. The skill sets and the people required after $1 million is just a different beast.
It is.
It takes another level.
The 4 to 5 million is the next big beast. Because really, when you get to 2 to 4, it's the same thing. And now
you're just building the new system. Like it's a different set of systems to go from like 1 to 1.5 and like get over that hump. That's a pretty big hump. But once you're over it, those same systems and that model keeps working for a few mil, in my experience.
And tenure starts to be a bigger thing too when you start getting to 5 million, because you're not going to get to 5 million with new sales guys every year. You have to start really pouring into that department. And that's been what our biggest problems has been is sales. We're in the toughest business to run. Everybody listening here, they run a type of business where the main thing you do, you could probably train someone in 2 or 3 weeks to do it.
Yep.
Chimney sweeping, with all the codes and everything we have to do with it. I mean, we have $4,000 camera systems to look up a chimney, and so it's just a different service animal than anything else. And so, and it's a smaller niche, and it's not like somebody wakes up and says, I'm going to be a chimney sweep now, HVAC and plumbers. Like, I can go start a plumbing company all day long and go find a plumber that knows what the hell he's doing. Right. But I can't go find a chimney sweeps all day long. They know what they're doing. I have to in-house train most of them, almost all of them. And then I have to, once they're got the 101 of chimneys, now we have to start pouring in knowledge, experience. What more can you do what more can you got to take it from the technician side of this is what's wrong to now we got to get to what are all the possibilities we could do your fireplace and chimney. And you can't train that in 1 year to somebody. And so that's where tenure starts to be. And that's what's going to take a company from 4 to 6 million.
Yep.
And then that's the same model that's going to get you to 8 to 9. And then I have coached guys through the 9 to 10. That's a totally different animal. I don't consult anymore. Now I'm a mentor and a coach, and I'm telling them to go find a consultant.
You're good. Just a sounding board of logic.
Right. And so, okay. I like Corey Hiller.
Yeah.
Chad's my favorite guy ever.
Corey
says is so true.
Corey, we miss you too. Why don't you come on the radio, man? We need you. Actually, you and I need to get out golfing, Corey, is what we need to do. I'll check my schedule because the last I heard, somebody tried to book a demo with me and they got July 17th. Like I'm fully booked until July 17th. That's
that
cool.
means you need to hire.
I have actually this was my cheat code, and I talked about it. Sean Day and I are doing a recruiting webinar, and like 5-part series. Yesterday we did part 1, and that was all about labor market research. Part 2 is going to be all about writing job ads. Part 3 about filtering applicants efficiently. Part 4 I'm going to do on group interviews, and then part 5 is about building a hopper, leadership, culture stuff. Maybe we ought to bring you in for that one. That'd be fun. But my like cheat code for bookkeeping, which is a recurring service model, a little different than the chimney sweep model. But I have, and I've exhausted some of it. I think I still have 8 people in my hopper, 8 people for my account manager role that I have interviewed, approved, like group interviewed them, solo interviewed them, said, yep, you're a good fit here. And I'll call you when I'm ready. And so I have a hierarchy of like who I'm going to bring in first. In fact, the next person that I'm bringing in is in like constant contact with me. She's probably going to watch this episode too. Like she's ready to go. And it's a timing thing. I have 4 people that are in training in that role right now, but it's like a 3-month training. It's not a 2 to 3. I mean, they can be, I won't say proficient, but they can be productive but they're not at the level where they can like own it just yet and talk to our clients about their business.
Right.
Like it's more than just entering data. It's you need to be able to teach the client what's happening in their business. And so I need you to know where everything goes in our model of how we do bookkeeping, but I also need you to be able to teach the client about their P&L and their balance sheet and like be their finance person. And that takes a little bit more time. So I've got 4 in training right now, and I'm just kind of like rolling them in. And so as we need more onboarding capacity, I pull them off of that hopper. But I'm down to 8, and I kind of like having 10 because it just always guarantees that when you need somebody, you're not getting the cream of the crop. You're getting like the cream of the cream of the crop. You're just always going to have the best people in the world to pick from. And man, that makes a business way more fun to run when you're just like, you're awesome. Let me let's get you going. And one of the funny things I tell them when we do interviews, and I can say this super confidently because of the way I'm doing this, is you're just never going to have a shitty coworker if you work here. It's never going to happen because I'm only taking the best of the best of the best. I'm just not going to let somebody on this bus unless they're absolutely amazing. And that's the best part for all of their coworkers is they're not going to have to pick up the slack of somebody that like snuck in but isn't pulling their weight. And that's what A players want. A players don't want to get stuck with B players and C players. They want to be surrounded by other A players. Then they get to work their ass off and have a whole lot more fun doing it, and they can collaborate and all that stuff. But it sucks if you're an A player and you're like, got to pull the weight for this person again. And so it's that's been going well. But because it takes so long to train, I'm like waitlisting employees and waitlisting clients so I can like pull them off at the same speed. So I've got probably 10 clients on the wait list and 10 or those 4 people that I like want to bring on board out of the 8 and just bringing them on at the right speed. A little different in a recurring business than a one-time service style business, but that's been it's been a blessing. Corey says weekdays are rough, buddy. When I tell you what I've had going on, you'd be like, yeah, okay, Corey, I get it. I get it too. Management isn't as easy as I've always told you it should be. Pot, kettle, yada, yada, yada.
So I got something to share. Are we going to a break soon or are we going to keep going?
Well, you need a beer? You need to go get a beer?
Yeah, I just popped the second one. I'm good.
Well, I'm good. I got my cooler handy. Right. I'm ready to go. So
we have a bi-yearly meeting that we do where we take off a day. We spend most of the day in meetings with the entire company, culture stuff, do some fun stuff too culturally wise. And then we break late afternoon. Everyone goes, gets their families, and we have an evening party, dinner, blah, blah, blah. We ran a big place out and do it. Really cool. All that stuff. So we did that last Friday. Mm-hmm. And 2 things happened. Number 1, I have not been happy with my 4 top technicians that install about there's just some things that they're not doing administrative wise that just pisses us off. They're not getting photos.
Just the things where it's like, you're supposed to do this and you're just slowly getting lazy and not following the process.
Asking for a review, not putting a picture of the finish line item that's supposed to be on every job. Just some stupid things like that. Now, we're in the safety business, so we wear harnesses and helmets. I mean, our guys are like rock climbers. We put them through a whole training process, OSHA certified and all this kind of stuff. And they have to take a picture of them on their gear clipped into the rope so we can see the rope up on top of the roof, and so we know that they're using it, because we've already been fined by OSHA once. And my daughter just turned her car on outside and there's lights coming and I'm like, the hell's a UFO in here?
They're coming for me.
There's something going on. I don't get it. So anyway, so I decided, these 4 guys, the average time that this is, what a good company are, the average tenure for these guys is around 8 years. So one of these guys has been here 12, one's 10, the other ones are all around 7 or 8 years they've been with me. So they're good technicians, and but there's just stuff that they're not doing, and my management has not been able to get them to do it. Mm-hmm. So I just finally said, I am so sorry, Grandma. I'm so fucking pissed off. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to make it to where it hurts if they don't do their job.
Yeah.
So I decided no more hourly. One guy was on salary, no more hourly and salary. I'm putting everybody on performance pay.
Hell yeah.
And performance pay, if you don't know what that is, it is you take their pay and it's a commission, but the commission is not based on sales. It's based on you assign a percentage of stuff they have to do, and if they don't do it, they get that percentage off.
The percentage works its way down.
Right. So they get 10%. I'm just using 10%. It wasn't 10%. I'm just gonna make it easy though. So 10% is what they get.
Yep.
And then so if they get 3% to show up, because we couldn't find out everything. We gave them 3% to show up. So the other 7%, 2% of it is to be clipped in, helmet on, picture on the roof, show up your setup. So they had to do that's 2% of their pay. By the way, we gave them a raise. And the whole company got a raise.
Yep.
To go to performance pay. So it wasn't an incentive to do their job, just to get a raise like that. I also told them I will not, and I told them this 2 years ago, no longer 10-year raises. Just because you've been here, you're not getting a raise from me.
If you've been here, you sure as hell better be better at your job because you know how to do it. But you don't get paid more just because you're here. You get paid more because you kick more ass.
Well, you start getting 8, 10, 12, 15-year people, they're topped out. I mean, I could fire them and bring other people in that might be just as good fairly quickly and pay them half of what I'm paying these guys. But that's not my culture. That's not what I want to do.
Yep.
So, but I'm also tired of bitching about no reviews. Where the heck is the picture of your OSHA stuff? Because if you fall off and I don't have a picture of your setup, how am I going to prove that you set it up right? And by the way, if you did set up right, you're not going to fall off. You know, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, blah, blah, blah. And so I did this and I finished it up. And I said, there's only one negative thing I'm going to say here, guys, this whole day. And that is, get the hell out of here if you don't like this. This is not a choice. There's the door. We're going to be breaking in about 15 minutes. Leave. I don't want you on my team anymore. I don't need you on my team anymore. I want performers. I want everybody to be happy. And I want everybody to make a lot of fucking money. You're not making money, and you're not going to keep making money off of me when I pay your paycheck. I pay your taxes. I offer you 401k incentives and match pay. I do all that. And have I ever been wrong with you? Have I ever not paid you? Have I ever not come up short? So this is the one time I got, a little fire in my belt. Coming out. And then, I also showed them the U video. I showed them the good, Jocko Wilco video or Willink video about good and all this stuff. And everybody was all pumped up. And the 4 guys I thought we might lose 1 or 2 of them came up to my general manager at the break and said, this is the best meeting ever. I love this. And I'm just like, and I looked at John when he came back. I said, well, sometimes maybe you just got to treat people like adults. Stop asking and treating them like kids. And that's what I did with them. I treat them like adults. I told them what we're going to do. And you're going to get a raise to do your job. Yep. And they fucking loved it. And I'm just like, and we have been on fire. We've been on fire for about a month now, but we really, really caught fire last Tuesday. We had the meeting on Friday. And then this week has been wonderful too. So I mean, just treating people like adults and figuring out a way to get them to do stuff. I've been hearing about performance pay for years. Tommy Mello talks about it all the time. It's just like, I've been scared. I'll flat out tell you, I was scared to do it. I didn't want to lose these guys. But, I finally got so fed up. It's like, I don't give a shit. I just don't care. I need people to do their job the way I want to do it. Number one, when it comes to the safety, I've made the phone call on the way to the ER at Wives. I don't want that call ever again. That's why I invested $100,000 3 years ago in safety gear and training. I spent $100,000 on it that year. And so, when you got, at that time I had 50 employees. And what's great about, now it's kind of shifting a little bit here. What's great about being a business coach and learning, because I never stopped learning, is I started to look at my revenue per employee. Yeah. Do you track that number, Dan, with people?
I look at it not as a whole, but on an individual basis from a production rate standpoint, because we do performance-based pay as well. So where it gets a little trickier is on the admin side. And I look at total admin percentage. I don't look at like production across all the employees, but I look at it a little more granular to the same reason though, same point, which is And I figured out in this business how to do performance pay for our bookkeeping team too.
Wow.
Of the same logic, which is, I need you to do your job, and like you need to perform to get paid for it. Because if you don't perform, we don't get paid. And how the hell am I going to pay you? And the other thing I found is, like as a finance guy, I want to like lock in my COGS percentage.
Sure.
I need to know when we do work exactly how much money we make, and I coach that to my coachees, which is, if you know exactly how much money you make on every single job that you do on every single client, damn, it gets really easy to scale your business because you know exactly how much money you have for the rest of the investments you need to make in growing your business. If your cost to produce is doing this all over the place, like you don't know how much money you're going to have tomorrow to run your business.
Right.
So part of the value of performance pay for at anybody that's a producer is that you lock in your percentage from a COG standpoint. Now, like there's still training and bonuses and other things that you like to do. But there's another thing that I really like about it, which is probably why those 4 guys responded the way they are, which is players want upside. They want the value of their hard work. And you get to give them the value of their hard work when you do performance-based pay. And what's sweet about that is there's a time when you're going to write somebody a $2,000 paycheck or like a $4,000 or $5,000 bonus true up thing. And when you do that, when they're hourly, you kind of go like, ugh, like that was a lot of overtime. Like I'm getting my ass kicked. When you do it when it's performance pay, your reaction is exactly the opposite. You're like, fuck yeah, that's a sweet paycheck. Good for you.
Winning. You want to win.
Yeah, you're on the same side of the table. And when their paycheck's not very good, you're like, I need to help you get more productive, or I need to help you go find a different job. Because if you can't be productive in this job, you're never going to make enough money, and I'm going to lose money on our business model, so it's never going to work. So either I got to help you get more productive, or I got to go help you find a different job where you can be more productive, and we can both keep winning. Where'd he go? He's gone. Chad's gone. Yeah, performance-based pay is just totally the way to go. It's way harder at an admin level, though. Here, he's back. He's back.
I just tried to take me on mute so I could cough. And then it did all that. Sorry for the drama.
It is harder on the admin side. Like salespeople, you can kind of do because you see how much revenue they sell and book, and so you can use percentages on those. Harder for ops, for like management level, senior level stuff, or admin level people that aren't directly doing sales stuff. You got to still try to like break it down by metrics where you can reward them for production. It's just a little trickier.
Well, what I did was when I started looking at what the dollar was just overall for most service companies, I'm like, okay, so with our sales, when I did the metrics, and right now I'm drawing a blank of what the number is. Our number was way higher than the standard of what. Now this also, I just watched a podcast that had Grant Cardone's guy on there. He's big on this number. So I watched it, and I didn't like this guy. I love Grant Cardone, but this guy he's got out of the internet that he's partnering up with the business coach and stuff, I think this guy's a total dick. He just is. But when I listened to him about his dollar or revenue per employee and what that should equal, I did the metrics on my company. I'm like, holy shit, I'm way high.
Yeah. And
we had at the time we'd already scaled down. We had about 52 employees, and I scaled down to 42, and we were still high. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, so what can I do to scale this thing down to get to that number? So I did the number. The number came up to 28 employees, and at the time I had 42. I'm like, holy shit, we did it, and we're still going to be able to do 5.
Was it a production thing of technicians that needed to create more revenue? Was it a sales thing that they weren't selling enough revenue? Or was it just like you got so big that you just had admin people doing admin work for the sake of doing admin work?
It was a lot of, it was kind of looking at everything.
Yeah.
You know, and it was training better, looking at your stuff. So my idea was I have to do 2 things. I have to get the revenue up, so the percentage will come down with less employees.
Yep.
If I can do that, which is always the dream thing, right? Or how do I run a business that has less people and make $1 million, right? And so that's what I was really trying to strive to look at. So I started to go around, I business coach, 30 companies. I market it for about 30 companies, and I started calling up. Well, the coaching companies, I just start talking to them about their stuff, and I have some good clients that make way better profits than me that are way smaller companies. Now they don't make more money than me, but when it comes to percentages, they're better.
Yeah. Smaller companies generally can. They just have less.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
If I could go back to being a $2.5 million company, with the way that company ran then, that was so far the best period of my life running a company.
Yeah.
Right when I stepped out of the company and let it run itself, was the best. I didn't make as much money as I do now, but I will tell you, I had, not that I have a lot of headaches now, but there was no headaches then.
Yep.
But anyway, so I started just to look at everything. I said, okay, I want to raise our sales up another. The goal is to go another 600,000 this year. This was 2 years ago. Goal is to go up 600,000, and I need to cut half of what I thought. I mean, so instead of getting down to 28, let's get down to 34. So we did it, and then we did no hiring last summer for production, none. And then we also took a couple. Okay, so we did go down a little. We went down to 32 because we did cut a couple helpers in the masonry crews. Okay. And then boom, we started getting closer to that number. We lost so much money last first quarter. And I was on the show and we talked about that. We got our ass pounded last. So we broke even last year. So when I file taxes in October, it's going to be even, Steven, maybe slightly a loss, which I actually on the 31st of December last year, I called up David, my CFO, and I said, are we going to show a loss? He goes, yeah. I go, can you not fake these numbers to get me to $1? He goes, there's no way.
Can we do $1?
I just want to make $1. Well, because you go get loans and shit, self-employed. I wanted to show I made $1 because I knew we were making money this year, and we are. And it's like I wanted to have that 2 years of tax returns to be able to go buy whatever I want, other than having to put 30 or 25% down on everything. You can do a no docs loans and stuff, all that. But it's like, because I'd refinance my own house, which I wouldn't do now anyway. But you can get better interest rates and stuff as a self-employed to have it that way. But anyway, so we did it. We got, and now it's crazy. So then what we did is later last summer, I fired all my masons. Fired every one of them.
No shit.
All of them. So I got rid of 10 guys.
I was gonna say you like put your heart and soul into recruiting those guys too.
Oh. And they just couldn't get it right. Like I was just talking about earlier, they could not get if they told me 5 days, it needed to be done in 5 days. And I mean, we had a couple jobs that they bid, like, let's say 10 days, that went to 30.
Oh, geez.
And it's like, this is not working.
That's another spot where performance pay comes in really handy because
they weren't on performance pay, but they still could. They were good. They were awesome masons. They just couldn't get it on a chimney to the timing to what they sold, and we couldn't sell jobs. They needed to be. If they told us 10 days, we were selling it at 10. And I know my competitors who had masons that could do chimneys would do it in 10. So I mean, I know all this. Yep. So my sub, who's been working with me for 20 years, who's a mason, but he builds houses and does his own stuff. He was actually at my house when I just got off the phone with my management team at Masters, and they were telling me how bad a couple of these jobs were going last summer. And Juan was here, and I yelled to Juan. I got off the phone with these guys. I was sitting right here, and I yelled to Juan, come here. And he's walking through my office door. I said, "You ready to start working for us now?" He goes, "When do we start, man?" And so we made the plan on how to. We got our attorneys involved. We got our accountants involved. How do we make this right as a sub? Because I don't want to get fucking audited and be told this guy, first thing the accountant said, "Is he only working for you?" And we're like, "Nope." Is more than half, is at least half his income coming from someone else? Yes.
Yep.
So that was the first thing. Okay, how do we make the trucks right? How do we put the uniforms right? And blah, blah, just kind of like the satellites thing, contractor for all that with their logos, all that. We did all this stuff. Added his logo, contractors of Masters on the trucks. I rent him the trucks. He pays me for the trucks. So we did all that. We've been nothing but printing money since last August. I mean,
Did you bring more masons in that he can oversee then, or how do you do that?
he has 4 or 5 on his staff.
Oh, hell yeah.
So let me tell you what's happened since then. So I've known him since he was 14 years old. So I've known him, and he looks up to me. His uncle worked for my dad, for 20 years.
Okay.
And so, long story short is he worked with his uncle. They traveled a lot. His wife, he got married. No more travel.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
done.
he had to start his own little remodeling company, and I started using him for jobs that we didn't do at the time that I knew he could do. And he started doing jobs like that. This is almost 20 years ago. So I used him all the time anyway, but not as a full on like employee type deal.
Yep.
So long story short is he last year when he started with me, he had 6 employees. He now has 15.
Nice. So he's winning.
He's banking. I mean, he's banking big time. I mean, we all are, because if my guys can do it, they go do it. If we're slow like we were in May, I don't have to hire Juan. He had jobs for his guys to go do.
Yep.
He could just add more guys to a job because he knows we're going to get busy, and put him back on the road. And so it was great. So now I don't have to carry 52 employees. I can only hire him when I need him. But he pretty much, even through May, he still had a couple trucks running for us. And then right now, he's got all his trucks running. We got 10 service trucks running right now, just in the chimney business in Dallas, Texas. And so it's insane. It's awesome.
What the hell is a chimney business doing in June in Dallas anyway? I looked at your guys' temps yesterday, and you were in like the mid 90s.
Water leaks, people moving, animals getting in the chimneys that don't have caps, deteriorating. They don't build them out of hardy board, deteriorating wood. We had shitload of water or shitload of rain in the last month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
We were flooding here in Dallas. We were underwater just 2 weeks ago. All that kind of stuff. And so, chimneys is a year-round business if you make it right.
Hell yeah.
And so,
hell yeah. Is that do you feel now, like at 5 million here, do you have the business model to go to 10? Do you want to go to 10? Where do you go from here, and what tweaks or changes do you plan on making?
Yeah, we have the model to go to 10, and we have the market to do it. My marketing company has really boosted our customer acquisition, and
your marketing company being the one you use, which is your marketing company, I assume.
Right.
Not like, I wanted to clarify that, because anybody else that says, oh, my marketing company, would be talking about the marketing company that they hire, not necessarily the marketing company that they own.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're good. So, I mean, our customer acquisition has doubled.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so, I mean, I was actually upset. So the guy that was doing my marketing for the last 5 years is a friend of mine. He actually helped me get into marketing out of New York City. And I still love him to death, but he's gotten really big. I mean, he's gotten to $500,000 a month. The guy's awesome. And I coached him and became friends. And then one day, my daughter wanted to start a marketing company with the marketing background she has. She didn't want to work for somebody. So I went to my buddy and I coached, and I said, hey, this feels a little stinky, but I mean, it's a big market. Would you care if I went after, if I started a marketing company? He's like, how can I help you? And he did. He helped me out of the gate.
Right, dude. That's the right dude.
Yeah. Helped me right out of the gate. And we took off pretty fast, way too fast.
Right. It's like, oh shit, this is working.
Well, the money was pouring in. We had no idea how to do all the work. That's what happened. I mean, we were just like, holy shit. I mean, we went from 0 to 30 accounts in 6 weeks.
Yep.
And that was insane. And we were just pulling our hair out. And we had a lot of white label people doing stuff for us. And it was, it was okay, but when you deal with white label, you have no control. And so, and so we rebooted and started doing it ourselves. But anyway, so back to let's talk a little business about how to help people here, that own service businesses. And so one of the things that I'm really high on right now is sales in the service business. And the one thing that I think where the people under $1 million and to the people who have made it over 1.5 million. So you really kind of got the under 1.5 million people is Do you have a duplicatable, fast processing, learnable, teachable sales system that does all the way from your marketing to your call center to your show up to your sale to the production of the job to the after the job to the add-ons to the follow-up and then the repeat business next year or whatever, however often your service is? Do you have that so duplicatable, so packed down? Do you have you scripted out what everybody says at every level on how to do everything to make it happen? And then when you have that, you can tweak it and it's easy and you can start winning and winning so much bigger, so much faster. Then you start going into your pricing. How do I price stuff? I'm big on bundling. I like package deals. I like to take, and I'll just do it like this. If you show up as a window washer, because I know a lot of your people are window washers, right? So they watch your show. Show up as a window washer. If your guy shows up and he just does the windows and screens and ledges, yet you guys maybe do gutter cleaning, maybe you do patio spray washing, maybe you pressure wash the front, whatever, I don't know. What if you show up and you don't give them an itemized bill? You say, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to give you a warranty for this and how long it'll be. I'm going to make sure I put you on a list. We're going to come back and do it every time. And I'm going to do all of that for normally you clean, let's say, wash your windows for, let's say, $350. I'm going to do all of that today for $700. And I'm going to come back every 3 months. And I'm going to do all this again for $300 now. Mm-hmm. And you did that. You just doubled your sale. More than likely, you're going to be shocked at how many people say, okay, let's do that. Sounds great. I don't have anyone doing that right now. One thing that people don't get when they're in pressure washing is, you ever look at pressure washing the patio furniture cushions and stuff? I mean, cushions are moldy. People don't realize that. There's so much.
Disgusting.
Yeah, they're disgusting. So there's so much that you have in your warehouse that you don't even know. And I teach all this stuff when I'm coaching people of what can you do to up the ticket that the people don't even know they need.
Yep.
And when you start
the best money to make is always at the job you're already at. It's the best money.
Always. Making more money off your existing clients is definitely the path to 2 million and above, for sure. If you take the same clients that you have, do more services for them more often, you're going to double your business.
I present on what I call the purgatories of scaling. That's like my favorite presentation to do, because I call it my number one head nodding presentation, because the whole way through, purgatory number one is like when you're trying to get off the truck and you're hiring your first few guys, and like money kind of goes backwards when you do that, because you double your capacity and you double the amount of equipment you have. And so you got all these investments. Purgatory number two tends, and that's usually in like the $200,000 to $300,000 range, depending on the industry. Purgatory number two is kind of in the $500 to $600 range, because you start needing somebody else to manage the crews and you're like officially out of the field, and that starts to get more expensive, and you start needing admin help, and that's like a new set of problems for you to solve. Purgatory number three is usually in that 1 to 1.5 range, and it's because you don't have the wherewithal or the skills yet to build a leadership team, but you can't grow your company by yourself anymore, and you don't have the systems that you just talked about and a machine that other people can run. And I see this happen all the time. Is $1 million business, cost of goods sold wise, they can go out and produce and be consistent in what it costs them to go execute the job. They've got that figured out. That's dialed in. It's consistent. Every time they go out, they bring 60% of the money back, whatever it is. And they usually have some ways to generate leads consistently. And that's always changing a little bit, but they usually have a few like go-tos, and their admin cost skyrockets, because they keep hiring admin people, and admin people are great at looking busy and acting like they're doing their job. But those admin people, again, like cost of goods sold, you can pay them in a way that connects them to their production. Harder to do. Salespeople, you can do that too, but it's harder to do with admin people. When you hire admin people to take things off of your plate, but they don't think like a producer. They're not like, how do I get this done as fast as possible to make as much revenue for us as possible? They're like, how do I make myself keep looking busy? And so you get stuck in this area where you've got an admin team, but you don't have an admin team that actually knows how to grow your business, and you don't know how to train them to grow your business, because you just hustle and grind it and figure it out. And all of a sudden you have 25% cost of your admin, and there's no money left at the end of the day, because you're just sucking it all up into wages for people that don't know how to connect their work to your revenue. And I see that happen all the time at like 1 to 1.5 million. It's just they're stuck there, and they get stuck there for a while. It's like
well, they learn it. They learn the E-Myth, but what the problem with the E-Myth is, it doesn't show you how to do the E-Myth. The E-Myth is all about theory, right? Of what you should do. You know, you got to read Traction to start getting. Traction is the follow up, even though it's different authors. Yeah. Traction is the follow up to how to put the E-Myth into practice. And there's other books as well. You know, but I mean, you know, when it comes to going from 1 to 2, you said they start dialing in their marketing. Well, there's the thing about marketing is when you start understanding and hire the right company that knows marketing, that you know can teach you how to do marketing and how to really do that. So you get your marketing dialed in and start tracking it so you can start putting it in the right place. And you got to realize Facebook and Google are two different monsters. Facebook is, look at us, what we can do for you. Google is the market. I'm looking for you.
I'm looking for
and
you.
I'm hiring you. Yep. So you got to know when to put the speed on and when to put the brakes on, which one you're doing for your season, right? Yep. And so I mean, it matters. And so nobody.
It's changing right now. Everybody I talk to, I'm just like, people are done searching for you for the next 3 months. People are not Googling, I need my windows cleaned, I need this pressure washed, I need a maid service. Like, you got to go get them. You got to go knock doors. You got to do yard signs. You got to do flyers. Like, you better be going and getting them instead of waiting for them to find you. They're not coming to look for you. They're busy. They're on vacation. Go get them.
If the phone's not ringing, you got to make the phone ring.
Yeah.
And so
go get in front of them.
So you got a guy, Pressure Washing by Sterling Washington. How can I double my profits? Because that's my little.
Michael wants to know. Michael's got to know.
Double your profits? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. It's what we've just been talking about in the last 10 minutes. Is don't go find more clients. Take the clients you have now and double your revenue from them.
Yep.
Double, and then part B of that is market to your existing clients. Why go out and keep trying to find new clients when you can actually build a business? I mean, I actually just signed a pressure washing guy. I'm gonna start. His lead flow is great. Well, that's good, but now you start getting your average ticket up. You know, you got to start being creative how you get your average ticket up so that you can start building that part of it. And there's nobody else. I'm included. I can still get my average ticket up. I don't care who you are. If you're a $10 million company, you can still get your average ticket up. You know, when you look at what Walmart does and everybody else, Walmart's trying to get average ticket up. They lower their prices, but what do you do when you go to Walmart? You buy way more shit than you need.
More shit. Yeah.
You buy more shit. And that's the model that servicepreneurs don't get. They don't get it. They show up to do the job and they don't do the add-ons and I'm sure Dan is huge on this. Are you even pricing correctly? You know, if you're worried about what your competitors charging, you're pricing your stuff wrong.
Yep.
Because what if your competitor's pricing wrong? Or your whole market's pricing wrong? You know, and I've seen this before. It's crazy. And so my retention is high. My average ticket, good but not great. And so it's just it. What else can you do to make that ticket go good? And go from there. And then one of the things, here's the crazy way to make more money. Give your guys less jobs. Didn't that sound crazy? Give your guys
forces them to fill up their own schedule.
They give them less jobs. Train them to do more for the client they have and to do a better job. And then you train them on how to make sure that so part of this process isn't just your guy in the field. It is, like I said, it's the whole wheel of life when it comes to your business. Is everybody brain in the game for the repeat business? Is everybody brain in the game for 5-star experience? So if you call Master Services up, you're going to hear the phone call being answered like, "Hi, this is Chad with Master Services. We're here to give you a 5-star experience today. Are you calling about your chimney, a masonry job, dryer vent cleaning, or brick repair? Which service are you calling about?" So now what did I just do? I told them we're going to offer you a 5-star experience, and I just told you everything that we do in the big category. So now I got people spinning. Well, okay. So then we go through whatever they say. And then as we're looking, when they say yes to an appointment, whatever they're calling about, then while we're looking for an appointment time to do it, which we already have ready to go, we start talking to them about, "Hey, did you hear about our other service that we did there? Is there anything that you need with your brick repairs? You ever, when's the last time you had a mason in your house? And all of a sudden people start going, yeah, well, you look at our brick mailbox. Can you look at this? Can you look at that? By the way, you guys do pool remodels or outdoor kitchen stuff. We fix stuff like that. And I think second quarter, which we got our asses pounded 1 month, but the other months, I think our numbers is we sold an extra, I think it was 60 grand out of the call center, which they all got incentivized and got a commission off that 60 grand.
Hell yeah.
The call center produced 60 grand extra.
Yeah.
Just by talking to the clients.
We had a sales guy. He wasn't a good cultural fit. He was a bit of a know-it-all, but the dude had no fear of rejection and he could sell anything to anybody. And his logic was along that line of you just got to show him the menu. And he was a waiter at a restaurant, and I bet he got tips out the freaking wazoo because he would go to the table and the first thing he would say is like, "Who's getting steaks? I want to know who's getting steaks. You guys are my important people. I want to take care of my important." Like nobody went there to get a steak, but all of a sudden people are thinking like maybe I want to get a steak. And like same like when he went for the drink order, who's getting top shelf stuff? That's what I want to know. The rest of you guys, I don't care about you. I want to know who my top shelf folks are so I can take care of you guys first. You guys are my important people. And he would do it, like he was the goofy dude that could get everybody riled up. And all of a sudden, like nobody was there to buy a top shelf drink. They were me. They were gonna go get a Coors Light. But now all of a sudden he's got everybody and his whole thing was like, just tell them what's on the menu. Like they don't know what's on the damn menu. So like point them to the stuff you want them to buy, show them the menu, point them to the stuff you want them to buy. And they're going to look at it and be like, I do need that.
Best story ever just happened in Florida. So my son-in-law, one of my son-in-laws, he's a big entrepreneur. He's a real estate agent. He's starting a roofing company. He's really entrepreneurially. And we love talking sales all the time. And we were going to this one ritzy restaurant the one night that I made everybody pay half their bill because it's so expensive. Our family of all these people coming, So anyway, I said, watch this. Ask the waiter what he recommends. And I'm going to bet you 100% it's the top 3 menus on an item that costs the most. He's not going to give you an opinion. They're trained to tell you what the top most expensive things are because that's what they want to do is get more money.
Yeah,
sure as shit.
The
guy literally started talking about how great the number one thing on the menu, most expensive thing was, went right to the second one, and then went right to the third. And me and Clay were just on the floor laughing. I said, see, these guys are trained sales. These waiters, they're trained.
They're producers. They're technicians. Those waiters are technicians, and they are trained on what to say and to point you to the right spot on the menu.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what does Rob say? Firecracker on the mentioning all the services.
Rob says fire on the mentioning of the services in the script. And it's like, it does crack me up how many times we would get called at our window cleaning company and somebody would be like, I've used guys in the past. And like, we'd look in our CRM and be like, no, you haven't. I don't want to tell them that because like, we'll help you with whatever. Right. But then you're also like, well, shit, how many of our clients are calling our competitors because they don't remember our company name? I ran into this with garage door service not too long ago. I had used somebody. They did a great job. I would have intended to call them back for another thing. I don't remember who the hell I used. It was 2 years ago. How the hell am I going to remember the name of the garage door company that I used? Now I know Tommy. So now I'm just going to call, A1 and get it done like by those guys. But at the time I didn't. And so, but I like the guy that came out did a great job and I would have loved to use him again. They've never sent me a thing since. They didn't keep my information. They don't market to me. Like, what a wasted opportunity. I'm here like I have a garage door. It's going to need other shit. It's old. It's from freaking 1987, all this stuff. Like, why wouldn't you have me on your marketing? Why would you not be selling stuff to me? I'm the lowest acquisition cost person you're going to find. Legit, all you need to do is send me something so I remember who you are. That's it. It could be an email. It could be a text. It could be a postcard. I am the cheapest person to market to. And yet I'm sure we use somebody else the next time we needed something because I don't remember who the hell it was. And so many other people are out there doing that. Like you said, it's that if there's one marketing thing you should do, that's it. like new leads are expensive. The cheapest people are the people who already know who you are, or at least should remember who you are, and you have their information, and just make it easy for them to buy. And it doesn't need to be salesy at all. We learned this in our like email blasts. You don't need a script. You don't need to type anything fancy. You don't need a pitch. You just need to say, "What's up, Mrs. Jones? That time of year, yeah, that time of year, hit us up. We got room on the schedule, but it's filling up fast. We're here. Here's our number again. We'll see you." That's it. Talk to them like they're your aunt. Like they're way more likely to read that email than, when springtime comes that this and this and this, and wouldn't it be nice? And but like nobody wants to read that email. They're scrolling right past that. Just be like, "Sup, let's go." That's all. That's all you need. Which is funny, but our conversion rate on an email like that was so much. We had a dude that was a marketing dude, and he'd write these long ass emails, and it wasn't like we didn't have work, but they didn't convert better than literally like an email that would say, "Sup, you need some work done?"
To read long ass emails. Matter of fact, so we lost our social media girl, and the call center did a couple contact emails to our list in March, and of course I'm on our list. I got these emails, and I called up, and I was like laughing, yelling at my management team. Have you seen these emails that they're sending? There's not a monkey in the world, if this was a banana, would eat that banana and read this thing. No way anyone's reading this email. It's so bad. And they're like, "Oh, what do you mean?" I said, and I sent them over, one of the ones that our last girl did, and I sent them over one that I do for marketing for my marketing company. And they're like, "Oh, okay, I see the difference." Yeah. And so pictures, you don't have to say much, just remind them, who we are. Show. I don't like discounts. I don't like sending out, say, "Hey, like a matter of fact, one of my clients sent me over a thing just yesterday, business coach client, not a marketing client. Well, actually he's both. But anyway, he sends me over this flyer he's sending out, and he does really good with flyers. I'm not a big flyer fan because what flyers bring is discount people. And of course, what does this flyer have on it? 4 fucking coupons.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Why do we? I mean, I don't want the people who give me a little clipping of $20 off. That's not my client.
Yeah, that's not the customer you want. Yeah.
I don't want that client, because what does that client bring? They're usually super picky. They want more than what you're paying for. They want a discount.
They're going to follow you around the house. They're going to follow you around the house while you're working because they have the time. They have the time to seek out $20 coupons. They're going to have the time to be a pain in the ass customer. And if they find anything wrong with your work, they're going to ask for some money back or for you to come back out. You want the person that's super busy. And even if something's a little bit wrong, they're like, "This is fucking great because I didn't have to do it." That's the customer you're looking for. I mean, you're still going to do a great job, but like, you don't want the customer that clips a coupon. Nobody wants that person.
I got another story. So today I get up and I'm on the throne having my little email time and reading all my stuff this morning as I wake up.
Catching up.
And I see that I got a bad review yesterday at Masters last night. I got a 2-star review, and I read the review and I'm like, okay, this doesn't look like a bullshit. A lot of times you get that 1-star review, it's total bullshit.
Like, oh god,
it's completely bullshit, right? Like, no, you still follow it up with everybody and find out, and they're all like, "Yeah, this guy's nuts," or "a lady's nuts," right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading this one. I'm like, okay, this looks real. So at 7:00 in the morning, I text over the management team. I said, "Listen, tell me what's going on here. Figure it out, and I'm going to reply to this one that you guys are going to reach out to her, and I'm going to pony up in the review, flat out tell everybody, yeah, this I'm following up, ma'am, this, if everything you say is real, everything we want to make this right, blah blah blah." And it wasn't anything even serious, so it was nothing big.
Yeah.
Sure enough, got the management on there, texted me back. Guy, general manager got the office, found out a little bit of information, called the lady up. Lady changed the review to a 5-star review and never mentioned one thing about the 2-star.
Yep.
And I was actually upset. I'm like, I wish you'd have just revised it, turned it to 4 stars, and let me see my response, because I wrote a response that was gold for everybody to realize.
And say like, "Hey, I really appreciate the diligence and how fast you guys jumped on it and that you gave a shit and all that stuff." Like, that says more about your company.
That's the best review ever.
Yeah.
I love turning a 1 or 2 star to a 4 or 5 star review, and then letting them read my response and letting them read the revised, because that's showing management and that you care. And so she deleted her other one and started the new one, and I'm just gonna say thank you on that one. But it's like, damn it, I wish she just would have revised it. And
they think they're doing you a favor, but whenever like people read the best reviews and the worst reviews, and when they're reading the worst reviews, what they're really assessing is, are these just a bunch of Karens leaving shitty reviews? Like, people can smell that stuff. Like, are these just a bunch of angry cat ladies? Or are these real people with real thoughts? And how did the business respond? Like, you want them to see that. You want them when they're going through a bad review to see what's going on in there and how the hell you handled it.
The thing about it is she left that review, and if you'd have read the 2-star review, when you're writing a bad review, you're there's a sense of caring in everybody when they're writing it, right? Yeah. You're really going off. You're thinking of anything and everything. You're complaining about both. She complained about the price and called us scammers, and then when we took care of it, she deleted everything, and then it's also like, we're the best company in the world. Yeah, it's like, so when you read the bad reviews, it's like, okay, how much of Karen is even in this bad review? Because there is always some legitimacy with anything like that, but it's like, man, I really like those 4-star reviews. I like, because what do you see on most people's stuff? 5 and 1, 5 and 1. That's all you see. When you see a 4,
you're like Republicans and Democrats. It's just like, let me go to the farthest extreme possible here.
Exactly.
They just go, they take it to the fullest. Michael at Sterling Watch said, discounts suck. They lower your worth when you spend so much time building it. I actually, there's certain times where I like to incentivize certain behaviors. Here's two ideas instead of discounting stuff for all listeners out there. One is add on something cool that's unique to that time of year that costs you almost nothing to do. So like in the fall, we would give away coach light cleaning. All those lights on the outside of your house that are dirty and cobwebby, we'd go clean those, and we'd tack that on as like, hey, if you book this week, we're going to go clean all your exterior coach lights for free. Daylight's getting shorter, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's not a discount. We're not lowering our value. We're actually adding value, and it's seasonal. And so it's something that takes us like 5 minutes to go do. Nobody's thinking about it, but they're like, oh my God, I never would have thought to clean my coach lights. But you could sell it as an add-on service, but nobody's going to buy it because it's just not something they really care that much about. It takes, like I said, it takes 2 seconds. The other thing I like to do, instead of like, hey, here's a discount with repeat clients, is you tell them, hey, we have a credit on your account and that expires whenever it expires. And so instead of discounting, it's the same thing, right? Hey, there's $50 on your account and it's going to expire at the end of the month here. Let us know if you want to put that to use. Here's some stuff we have a lot of people doing right now. It's no different than a discount, but it feels way different to that client when they're going to lose it versus, oh, I got to pay a bunch of money to get it. Like, oh, I have this $50 and I'm about to lose it. It's the same thing as a discount, but it feels way different. And it tends to get a reaction behavior versus, hey, it's $50 off your next service.
I love it. That's a great idea.
It lands totally different.
Tell Sterling, put my information in the comments, and he can call me. So if anyone wants to call and talk to me about how to double their profits,
what am I in here? You want me to drop your email in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me do that. Here, let me see what I got. What I got for your email. I got outside the business box at gmail.com. You want me to use that one?
That works fine. That'll be great.
I'm dropping it in. I'm dropping it in the YouTube chat here for Michael. Let me there
you go.
Also drop it. I gotta give me a sec here and allow my bandwidth to suck for a minute because I'm gonna open up another window.
So while you're doing that, I'm gonna talk about one thing. So there is one time that I use the discount. We call it doing the nuke. We have nuke scenarios in April and May when things suck. Nobody's buying. In my business, because we're such a high ticket, don't need it type of stuff. Is in Texas in April and May, nobody needs their fireplace unless it's leaking or there's an animal in it. Okay. And if it's not raining in April and May, which it did not this year, it gets a little sketchy. And so we didn't pull the nuke button this year. We did have to pull the nuke button last year. And what that is you email Constant Cocktail all your people that you'll give them up to 40% off of labor in my business. And it brings, the first time we pulled the nuke button was like 2016. It made us $1 million in July and August that year. It was,
and that was because you put 40%, but you put 40% of labor.
Yeah.
And
so
labor
it didn't come off of products. It only came off of the labor, and we said up to. So it depended on the job. So if the job was $1,000, we weren't going to go do that for $600. We'll give you a couple $100 off. We'll do it for $800. And so, and in our business, there are just some people. 50% of our we only have a closing ratio of 42%. I mean, and so you look at that. We have 58% of people that are not going to buy. So when you go out and throw the Duke button out when you need the money, and you say that, people come. Well, they start deciding to buy because now you're getting to their price range a little bit better and stuff like that. And so that works. We are not hitting the Duke button this year, which is awesome because the longer you go, the more estimates stack up. That when you do need to hit that button, you got people that are going to buy. And I've done this
your list just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Last 2 years because of the economy, I've had about 10 companies that went to the Duke button and saved every one of their businesses.
Yeah. What the 58% that aren't buying, are they like what fraction of that 58% is just not getting the work done versus you think going somewhere else?
I don't know. I'd probably say maybe 10 or 50% are going to go somewhere else because they're not. Because you got to realize there's a difference in my industry with the level of businesses that there are. There you got your mom and pop people. You got your people that are mom and pop that know just enough to do stuff. And then you have your certified people that really know the codes and standards. Yeah. I only have probably 2 or 3 competitors in Dallas that are actually certified and actually know the code and standard, have a liner machine, have all this stuff that can do actual expensive, necessary repairs, where all the other hack guys, they'll tell you don't need it. Like I can show you the code, show you the cracks. I can show you the heat transfer that's happening outside of your fireplace. So I can show all the evidence that's occurring. And then we call our sales guys actually inspector educators because they're going to educate you on all their findings and why this is happening. And you can see heat damage that starts to occur. So we really do a very, very good job in the home of describing why we do this. And then we have the rebuttals of the people that, we are in their house and they say, we're going to get other bids. And we go to the apple oranges, rebuttal. It's like, make sure, I'm just going to use easy numbers. If we're bidding $10,000, you got to watch out for anyone who's not bidding a competitor of us. Because if they're not bidding close to what we're bidding, I guarantee you they don't have the line items we have.
Yeah.
Like, anybody can come down to $3,000, they don't have the line items.
Yeah, they're cutting a corner to act like they're saving you, but they're going to fuck you over. And it might not happen this year, but you're going to have a problem that's going to cost you $20,000 later if you cut that corner. We're going to save you from that. We're saving you from that asshole.
Yeah. And so one of the things that we say when we're saying the apples and oranges thing is that, and when we're done, is there anything on here you don't think we should do? And that always catches them because they're like, no, it looks like we need to do everything. I said that when you get other bids, make sure they're bidding everything that we just showed that you need.
Yep.
And it blows their mind. And a lot of times they'll just hit the approval button there. But we're high ticket, man. I mean, my average ticket right now is $5,005. And that's showing up to a free estimate. We're that's our average. So we do a lot of $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 jobs. And we do a lot of $2,000, $3,000 jobs, and then we do a lot of just inspections and they don't buy.
Yep.
And so which pulls our ticket down. If I didn't do free estimates, my average ticket is probably $15,000. It's not like
you include a free estimate in your average ticket, huh?
Well, because it's SOP, sir. Sales per opportunity is how we look at it.
Yeah, you're going out and doing it.
Well, it's a sales per opportunity. It's an opportunity, collect or not. You got to put that number in there. Otherwise, you're just doing the gold, and it's not all gold.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. This is the thing I learned in my last bookkeeping business, which is I used to think that I needed a salesperson. What I learned in bookkeeping is a technical sale in a way. I don't need a salesperson. I don't need to sell anybody anything. By the time they get to me, they have an idea of what they think they want. And my job is just to set really fucking good expectations to exactly what you said. Like, I'm sending a camera into their QuickBooks. I'm looking at everything. I'm talking through every bit of the process, because as long as they know exactly what's going to happen, we can totally crush it for them. But if the expectation is even a little bit off, Sean Day always said this, and it cracked me up in our maid service business, and it was so true. We didn't need to deliver a steak. People called and wanted a Big Mac. It actually created a problem if they ordered a Big Mac and we gave them a steak. And so it was really important, and it was like hilarious to me that this would happen. But if they called and ordered the Big Mac and we gave them a steak, they'd be happy that one time. And then the next time we went to go do work for them, they'd be like, "Where's my $5 steak?" And we'd be like, "Ma'am, you ordered a Big Mac." And they'd be like, "Yeah, but last time I ordered a Big Mac, I got a steak. So I need my $5 steak." Well, a steak costs $20. Yeah, but the last time, right? And so like you just missed your chance to like set expectations and hit them on the head. And it's so important that you set really clear expectations and deliver exactly that. People want consistency. They want what they signed up for. They'll take it if you give them more, but all that happens in the future after that is now you're just on the hook for giving them more for free. That's why discounts kind of suck, because they're just going to always want that again. They're going to want that steak for $5, and that's not something you can consistently deliver. So you just end up kind of fucking yourself over if you over deliver something that's not built into your price. You don't need to discount. You don't need to be cheap. You just need to set really good expectations. And that was what I found. I don't need to sell anything, because I tried to hire a salesperson and he tried to sell bookkeeping. And I was like, dude, stop trying to sell them shit. Like, just tell them what we do. And like what we do is fucking awesome, and they'll decide if they want that or not. But the more you sell them, the worse it's going to be. Like, the more you try to sound sexy, the more you're going to miss setting the right expectation, and we're not going to deliver that, because here's exactly what we deliver. So just make sure they know that, because we can deliver exactly this every time. And if we don't, then we have an operations problem, not a sales problem. But if you go sell a bunch of shit that isn't what we deliver, that's a huge problem. Like, stop trying to sell stuff. Just set really good expectations. They'll opt in as long as we are confident that we can deliver it. But stop trying to like be cool. Just be real.
Now, with us, it's all about education, and we have to educate our clients. So it's different than most service companies. I actually do a speech that I've been hired to do a couple times now for the national chimney stuff. I just did one back in Florida for the NCSG National Chimney Sweep Guild, the big convention, and it's called the hardest business in the world to run is a chimney sweep, because I mean it just is. I wish it could be as simple as a window washer or a garage door tack, where you pretty much got one product, you learn how to fix it, install it, and now it's just culture and just getting better at that and whatever else, right? And that's not us. I mean, we're fireplace technicians, we're chimney technicians, we're on roofs, we're off roofs, we're in attics. There's so much shit you can offer. You can remodel a fireplace 4 different ways. Mm-hmm. Wood stove insert, gas insert, gas. I just keep going on and on. And it's like, it's just so much different to do our type of business. So this is why we only have, industry standard is about 38% closing ratio in our business, because when you call for a free estimate or you call for a chimney inspection or sweep, your expectations are you're probably going to spend $1,500, and that's cool. And then all of a sudden I give you a $20,000 bid, and $18,000 of it is necessary, or don't use your fireplace, And so, and luckily we've learned the insurance business, because for many years there was no insurance claims that we had. We've learned that there are a lot of insurance claims with sudden impact type of stuff and blah, 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 that we can do insurance claims now, which has changed the industry a little bit, because now, I mean, we really can. get $30,000-$40,000 bids, because we used to not be able to sell those as much, and now we get them all the time. And so, which is another way to scale the business. But when it comes to your average service company, looking at some of the comments, really treat your one client that you have now better, make more money off them, and do them more often is the best advice you could ever do if you're under $1 million. And if you're over $1 million, remember that.
Yeah, because it's easy to get away from. You get you start chasing shiny objects. Sterling Wash, Michael put in here, and I'd actually disagree with this, Michael. Not like wholesale disagree, but I want to tweak what you said here, which you said be hassle-free, set expectations through education. I don't have a problem with either of those. Then you said deliver more than promised. And in my experience, back to the Big Mac versus the steak, if you deliver more than promised, you set a shitty expectation about what's going to happen the next time. Like in the moment, that seems good, that feels good, like you said, retention achieved, but that's not scalable, because when you deliver more than promised, then the next time that your technician delivers exactly what was promised, the customer is pissed. And I've seen it happen over and over and over again. And so it's super important that you don't set up your next technician for failure, that when they go out there, they can deliver the Big Mac that the customer ordered, whatever it is that you're selling, and that is consistent, and it's consistent every time. And the technicians know exactly what to do. And the person that answers the phone knows exactly what to sell, and the customer knows exactly what they're going to get. I think you'd serve yourself better and do the customer better by delivering exactly what you promised, not more than you promised. You can sell them more than what you thought you were going to sell them, and you can charge them more for it. There's no, like we were talking about earlier, like go sell more at the job you're already at, get that average ticket up. But I think it's dangerous to do work for free that goes back into the discount thing. Unless like you promised them that you were going to do that again, like set that right expectation.
I probably disagree with you. I say, so if you're going to deliver more than promised, that's just got to be your SOP for your service.
Then everybody's got to do it. That's got to be
everybody's got to do it. And if you maintain that model, I think we're all good, right? If that's the case, but if you do like what you're saying, Big Mac, and the maid service is the perfect example because we've experienced this ourselves. So you go hire a maid service, they charge you way more to do the first cleaning because your house is dirtier, or even if you had a maid service.
They're learning it. They're learning it.
They come in that first time, and what do? They fucking do the perfect job. They get the little crevices in your sinks. They just do a perfect job. Well, what happens the next time they come? They don't do half as good.
Yep.
Almost every maid service is like this. The maid service just pissed my wife off. We owned a little maid service with her when we first started our chimney business because she found 4 houses. 4 houses. 2 of them were every other week. They were all mansions. So she literally could go there 6 hours a week, and she was making $1,000 a month or a week cleaning these 3 houses a week, because 2 of them altered a week. And she could take the kids to school and then pick them back up while she did that. And I answered my own phones when she did that for a little while, which is not a big deal, which I did love. And as soon as we figured out to bring her back in was the fastest we could do it. But when we did that, she did everything right. And then when we hired a girl and we tried to maintain the service, when we took her out of there to do that, the girls didn't clean as well as she did. And everyone started complaining because they're not cleaning like her. And so we were trying to get them to clean like her, but they weren't her.
Yep.
And so it's a similar scenario where as you're changing employees, trying to get the employees to do what the previous service was, you better make sure that those standards stay there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the tricky thing is it has to be repeatable. And if it's repeatable with 2 people, it has to be repeatable when you have 20 people. Like that's the system that you need to build. So I agree with that. Like it's fine to do the little extra thing. And Michael said, when I say delivered more than promised, it's nothing drastic, just a little extra final touch. The risk being when you're slammed and your technicians are busy, are they going to stick to that SOP? Or are they going to be like, shit, I got to get to these next jobs and I got to race home because I got to get my kids to this thing, blah, blah, blah. And they cut that corner and it undermines you. And so I think as long as it's like a rigid thing, it gets confirmed to what Chad said earlier. Like they're taking a fucking picture of it and sending you, here's my add-on, here's my freebie. Every job that needs to happen, I need to get a picture of it or you're fired. Like that needs to be the standard of it. If you don't follow
Do
that
less
process,
is more. I'm telling you, in service business, people are trying to jam way more jobs than the guys can do. And if you do less, you'll make more money because your guys are going to do better. And I'll tell you, it was the hardest thing for me to learn because we used to do 6 to 8 inspections a day per truck. We now hear this out, guys. 5 years ago, we went down to 3.
Damn.
3 appointments a day from 6 to 8.
My butt cheeks get tight just hearing you say that.
And guess what? We scaled. That was when we were at 3.5, scaled to 4.5 million.
Oh shit.
I mean, yeah. I had to hire another couple guys to fill that, customer, all the customer stuff. But guess what happened? We spent more time with the people. We educated them more. We offered more products. We upgraded a bunch of stuff, and it went insanely better. So much easier to manage too. Because guess what? When we were running 6 to 8 appointments, what do you think was happening in the afternoon? We're fucking late on every appointment.
Yep. Yeah.
And it was very hard business to run.
Yep. Yeah, you're always late. It sucks being always late. When I do a bookkeeping demo, and I've had multiple people tell me this is crazy, but this is I'm sure this is why we are as successful as we are. It's an hour. Spend an hour with people. We don't talk bookkeeping. We talk hiring. We talk marketing. We talk the problems in your business, because it's all the shit that bookkeeping supports. Is how do we figure out what's working and what's not working. It's not about categorizing your transactions. It's about you knowing your numbers, knowing how to read a P&L, how we report it to you. We record videos for our clients every month. It's it's education, and everybody has something else that they're struggling with. And so we spend an hour, and I spend an hour, and it's very little about the bookkeeping stuff. It's maybe 20 minutes of me talking about what we do bookkeeping, and it's 40 minutes of me trying to educate them on what's important and help them run their business. And hopefully, if I can help them figure something out on that call, they're going to use us for bookkeeping because they're like, oh, Dan's a useful human. But also, our business does better when their business does better. I want them to succeed. I'm not trying to take money from them. That sucks. I want them to kick ass, and I want to be a part of it. And then we'll get paid a little bit by helping them grow like crazy. That's where you win.
100%. It's like when I buy stuff at times, and sometimes when let's go back to the restaurant thing, where you're not getting the best service, or something goes wrong, or the food's fucked up, or something goes wrong, and it's how you handle it as a customer. Are you gonna get pissy and you're gonna be a dick about it, or are you gonna treat it with respect? And hopefully the restaurant does you right. If you treat it with respect, you're going to find out the restaurant, even if it's a shitty restaurant, typically will treat it better and do the right thing. But if you come off across as a total dick, they're going to treat you like a dick a lot of times, or they're going to try to appease you, and then they know that the kind of client you are. So I mean, I've learned. I used to be a total dick for a client. I used to always be a jerk because I was in the restaurant business a little bit, and I expect I never did anything wrong, so I ran my business great, and so why aren't they running their business like that, and I had that mentality for a long time until I just started, as I started to grow, get a little gray hair. It's like, wait a minute, instead of the why are you fucking doing it like this, it's like, okay, why are you doing it like this? And I start, even I'm saying the same thing, but the attitude's different. My
attitude isn't you suck, it's how can I help you?
Exactly. And when you start to shift like that, is why I brought this up to shift to this, is are you doing that with your employees? Are people there are you a guy that just yells at your employees? Are you a guy that champions your employees, and when they do wrong, make that an opportunity to make them better? Or do you just fucking yell at them? Mm-hmm. Which guy are you? I can tell you which guy's going to be more successful faster. If you're not hearing this ringing myself, that's how you do it. And that's how you do it. I mean, you have to learn to be a leader, and there is no such thing as a born leader. Every leader out there got to a situation where they had to learn to be a leader because they weren't what they needed to be, and they learned to do the right thing and learn. Simon Sinek, he flat out, who teaches leadership, says I wasn't a leader when I first started doing all this education and starting to learn stuff. I learned, and through the process of learning, I did. So, all right, Thank you, Sterling. I'll email you. I'll see your email tomorrow. That'll be great.
Michael's out. I thought he's out of here, but I thought this comment from him was a really good one, which is, he says, and I just this is how he wrote it. I'm contradicting myself because I'm always telling my technician, don't do that because we're not getting paid for it. So I guess I'm the problem. And I think that's so true, right? There's certain things we like reserve for ourselves as the business owner. Like, I can do this, but I sure as hell hope you guys don't do this. But I think that just goes back to the thing. And that was why I was trying to get trying to get at that point of it's fine if you build that process around that. I think that's a risky process to build because I think when technicians get rushed, they're going to cut. That's going to be a corner they cut. They're not going to do that little add-on. And all of a sudden it starts undermining you. And so there's no right or wrong answer there in my mind. It's just, can you repeat it? Can you be consistent? We found that in our maid service business, and I find this in bookkeeping too. I'm like super rigid about it now. I didn't used to be, and now I'm like, we just have to get this so dialed in, which is consistency. Especially in any recurring service business, you have to be so damn consistent. Every employee that they talk to, every message that they get, the cadence of it, the tone of it, everything has to have the same look and feel to it. If you're consistent, good expectations, people know what they're going to get. They know what they signed up for. They get what they signed up for, and it's recurring. You just got to stay consistent. You just got to keep executing. The minute it gets inconsistent, customers get pissed. Employees get pissed. When employees and customers are pissed, you lose customers, you lose employees. Losing employees causes you to lose more customers. In a recurring service business, attrition rate is like the only metric that matters. Attrition kills you. And so if you can solve for that, that does a whole lot for your business model. So do what you say what you do, in the opposite order, actually.
Did my CFO ever call you?
No.
Okay, I'll make that note. He's supposed to. I remember we were in my Porsche, and I texted him he needed to call you. So I'm gonna get on his ass tomorrow. We have a company meeting tomorrow morning.
Yeah, nerd out. I love talking to finance guys. Well, he and I might need 2 hours.
No, David's your typical guy on the phone.
He's a finance nerd. He's a finance nerd.
Yeah, he is. Baylor. He got a accounting degree from Baylor.
What a nerd. What a nerd.
Totally. Played baseball for Baylor too, though. Played for baseball in Oklahoma. Played for the Sooners. Yeah. Got too drunk all the time. Got kicked out. Went to Baylor. Moved to Baylor.
This sounds like my kind. He's a drinker. He's a jock, and he's a finance nerd. I don't know that there's a better.
Now, he's almost 60 now. You look at him now. You'd never think that, but I'll tell you a story. So me and him actually met right when I got out of the Marine Corps, and we worked in a restaurant together. And so the restaurant, we won an award. We were both managers, and he was my boss at the time. He was the general manager of the store, and I was assistant. And we won the best restaurant for the year. Out of 400 restaurants, we won the best restaurant of the year award.
Yeah.
So we did really well. And so they gave us a day off. They gave us a fund, a little bonus money. Let other restaurants came in to run a restaurant for a day. And we took everybody out for a picnic and a drunk fest.
Yeah.
And so I asked David, I said, hey, bring it, because he didn't play on it. I played with the softball league. I used to play softball twice a week, double headers. And I said, David, bring your glove. I want to play catch with you and stuff. And I'm like, okay. Well, if you ever thought you could ever be in the pros, play with somebody who had the potential to be in the pros. And you're going to find out really quick, there's no fucking way you could have ever been a pro. Yeah. So get my glove on. He gets his on, get the baseball, and we're just lobbing it to each other. We're probably base width apart, and we're lobbing it. And I stepped back probably about 10 foot, and I just chucked one at him, right? And I've got what I thought, because I played high school. I got a pretty good arm. I was catcher. I threw people out at second base, and I threw people out at first base, just leading off. I got a pretty good arm. Yeah. Threw it at David. I didn't know that people could throw as hard as this motherfucker threw this at my head. I mean, and I'm not kidding. I was scared
Oh,
the
yeah.
next time he threw the ball at me, literally 30 seconds later. I mean, I moved back again, and I'm throwing as hard as I can, and my ball still has a little arc. No.
Yeah.
His ball is a
His is
rocket.
still rising.
Like, if I put my glove up here, he could throw it into my glove and make my glove fall off if I want. I mean, it was that hard.
Oh, yeah. Like
And I was just
unless
like-
it hits the netting perfect, you're like, I got to take a break. My whole hand is numb.
He hadn't played in 12 years. He hadn't even touched his glove in 12 years.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're talking about a guy in his mid-30s playing with me. I can't imagine what he'd have been like, or playing with the pros or even college guys.
Yeah,
You know how good they are. And I that was the day I found out I was mortal. I'm mortal.
It is amazing when you think you're good at something and you meet somebody that's like legitimately great, and you're like, oh shit, there's that. Like, I had that far to go. Like, I feel like that way about golf. Like, in high school, I was a pretty good golfer. I definitely don't have the mind game for golf and the patience for golf, but like, you know, I can stripe the ball off the tee, and I can putt well, and I can get up and down from wherever. Never great.
Trophies up there. So my golf trophies up there.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Got 3 of them.
Got some hardware.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when I grew up, from the time I was like 4, I was out swinging clubs, and my parents all the way through like middle school, really like elementary school and middle school and early high school, they dropped me off at the golf course, and I would walk 36 holes and just play. And like, you can't not be pretty good at something when that's just all you do all summer, right? And so I thought I was a pretty good golfer. And up through high school, played on our high school team, and we were like a legit contender in high school. And then I got playing with some dudes that played college golf, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm just a drunk out here swinging hard. Like, these guys are putting it 3 feet from the pin and spinning it to the right part of the green. I just get on the green and like hope it stops close to the pin. Like, these guys are.
You recall what your handicap was? What was your handicap in high school? Do you remember?
I got down to like a 4, 3 or 4 for a while. Like, in a meet, I'd be wanting to hit upper 70s was kind of my goal at a city meet type of thing. And like, we weren't playing the hardest courses in the world, but if I was low 80s, I was kind of like, it's okay, you know, not great. If I was upper 70s, I'd be like, I was our number 3 golfer. Our number 1 and number 2 would like par or better, and I was kind of relied on to be upper 70s. Corey, actually, who was on earlier, he was on our team. He and I, like, he was our number 4 or 5 that would fluctuate. And so as long as we were in like the upper 70s, low 80s, we were usually as a team going to win that meet. We set some records. Like, we had a really pretty damn good team. Just when your number 3 and number 4 are hitting upper 70s, there was one meet where as a team we shot even par, which was like kind of unheard of in high school. Like, that just didn't happen. I was the worst at 3 over. I think Corey shot 2 over, and the other guys were 2 under and 3 under. And we're just like, did we just do that? Did we just shoot even par as a team? Like, what the hell are the chances? But yeah, then you'd start playing with people. And it was funny because I'd play, like, our number 1 golfer was a really good buddy of mine, and he was not an athlete the way some other folks were athletes.
Yeah.
But he just had the brain game, and I could out hit any shot he ever hit, yet he would shoot damn near par every time he golfed. And he just was so thoughtful about how he worked his way around the course. And when he hit a bad shot, how he recovered from it. When I hit a bad shot, my next shot was, I'm going to teach this fucking ball a lesson, you know? Yeah. And then that can spiral out of control pretty quickly. But that's how I'm wired. I'm a football player, which is when things go wrong, I'm going to teach that son of a bitch a lesson. Golf, it doesn't work quite like that. And so it's just the mentality is a little bit different, but it's just me.
Yeah, I maintained a 6 to 8 pretty much my whole life. And when I started building my cabin 10 years ago, I haven't played much golf, but I played twice this year and shot an 82 when I went out last time. And I think the other time we stopped at like 4. It was hot as fuck out, so we stopped on 14, but I was only like 4 over par at the time. So I mean, not bad for hardly ever swinging.
Hell yeah!
And so
there's a funny thing I found, which is because I played so much golf. Now the less golf I play, the better I do. because I have no bad habits. I just get out and like my body knows how to swing the club. I'm not like, all right, let's stripe one 320 yards down the middle. Like that swing from me is probably gone. My back doesn't, I probably still do it every once in a while, but my back doesn't like it anymore. And so now I'm learning to play the consistency game and just do this boring thing where you hit it down the middle. Super boring. It's not how I like to play. I'm like, oh, there's a corner. I'll cut that. But it is funny how you just score way better when you keep the ball in play and avoid penalty strokes. It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
So I was in this major. I was in this little it was a pro tour, but it wasn't. I didn't have a pro card, but it was considered pro because we played for money. You know, there were entry fees and all that kind of. You had to make cuts, and so it was pretty cool. I was on that tour for about 7 or 8 years. That's where all those trophies come from. And there was a major, which is a 2-day tournament. And we were playing at Tour 18, which is actually not far from my house. And my attorney, who I met my attorney play on that tour. We were still good friends to this day. He still plays on the tour. But we ended up being paired up on the second day. He was like 3 strokes behind me. I was in second place going into day 2. And
getting intense.
And day 2, we were doing the turn, and Anthony goes, "You're kicking it." And I knew I was winning. But Anthony goes, "You're kicking the shit out of this guy. You just need to stay super consistent. Like, don't go for anything. Just stay consistent." And I looked at him. I said, "Fuck that. I'm playing my game, man."
Yeah.
And the backside of Tour 18 here in Dallas, it's pretty easy, actually. It really is. And so I'm playing around. We get to 18. And I'm up like 4 strokes on this guy. And I know where Anthony's. I'm up on 5 or 6 strokes from Anthony. The other guy in the other guy's cart, he's out of the tournament. He's fucked the whole day up. And I know the group behind it. We're the last group. I know the group behind us, and nobody in the group behind us is doing anything. So I know I got this in the bag. Well, the 18th hole is A-Man's corner, what's the par 5 around the corner, and it's a short par 5, but you gotta cut the corner, you just hit a 3-wood and blah blah blah.
Yeah, you're gonna have an eagle putt. You gotta
so I take my 3-wood out, I stripe it right down the middle, and I've got 205 yards to the green.
Oh, yeah.
And so Anthony goes, "Don't you dare take that 5-wood out of your club. Like, why? Because there's a creek, there's out of bounds." He goes, "You fucking take that 5-wood out of here. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Take your 7-iron and fucking punch that thing up, chip it up there.
It's 30 yards away, chip one on.
Fucking par." And I'm like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Okay. And I took my 7-iron out and I looked at him and I went, and I actually just chipped my 7-iron. I wanted to put it instead of my wedge. I wanted to put it around 110 to 120 for my 9-iron. I'm a little better with my 9-iron.
Get a full swing. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So I half chopped the 7-iron to put it out right where I wanted it. And he goes, "Why did you do that?" I go, "Come on, man. You know I'm better with my 9-iron than my wedge." And sure enough, I took the 9-iron, stuck it 8 foot from the hole, missed the putt for birdie and parred easy. And went in.
So boring.
Went in, not knowing for sure if I won. My dad was on the tour, and this was my first major. And my dad had won a couple of majors. This is like year 6 or 7. This was actually in 2013. So, and the tour started so it was actually 10 years into the tour, in the tournament. I guess I skipped a couple of years. So anyway, I was really good buddies with probably about 30 or 40 people on the tour. And we all hung around quite a bit. They took the leaderboard and they put me down at 4th. They finagled it. And the owner of the tour is a friend of mine too. They put me down at 4th. So I walked in and everybody was like this.
Yeah, just busy. Looking busy.
Yeah, acting all stupid, right? And I walk into silence, and Jerome is sitting down at the table with this laptop right here. He's got his head in his computer, trying not to laugh. And I walk in and I see the scores, and I'm like, what? And Anthony, who's with me, my attorney, he's like, no fucking. He just goes, no fucking way. And everybody just dies laughing, and because somebody already knew what I already shot. Someone somewhere got my score somehow. I don't know if Anthony called them or I don't know what happened. Someone got me, right, and the whole place goes off, and it's like I won the tournament by 4, won $5,000. It was awesome. And so
hell yeah,
it was cool.
Got some hardware. I
did. That was glass. The funny thing about it is it's a glass thing. My kid broke it, shattered it.
Oh shit.
So I called up Jerome. I said, dude, I need another trophy.
Yeah. It's important.
And he goes, oh, what happened? I said, my daughter was cleaning my office and she dumped it and it shattered. All right. And he goes, all right. It's not gonna be the same one. I don't use that same people. I'll get you another one. Just pay me the cost for it. So I paid him. It was like $150. Yeah, paid him for it. Yeah, and I actually liked the first one better, but I still got the piece of glass up there, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's memory. It's memory.
Yeah,
it's like an animal mount. It comes with a memory.
Well, there's the animal mount right there next to me. So all my trophies are in here, and my cabin has all my little shit here. My good ones up there, right there.
Good ones are in the office. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Chad, let's wrap this thing up. I got one more question for you, and then I'll let you go.
Right.
And I don't remember. I bet I asked you this the last time we did a podcast together, but I don't know what the hell you would have said. So this is gonna feel fresh anyway. And I'll put some handcuffs on you as far as your answer goes. Let's say you can't be coaching and you can't be in the chimney space. No coaching, no chimney space, no consulting stuff. Money necessary, but not the end all be all. If you could go do anything tomorrow, chimney sweeping doesn't exist, coaching and consulting doesn't exist, but you got to go do something to make a few bucks. What would it be?
So there's a double answer to this. It depends on which way you want to go. Do I want to go live my life because I enjoy what I do, or am I going to go live my life to become a millionaire entrepreneur? So I'll answer the first one.
Depends which one you would enjoy.
Right. So let's just say I just want to go do a dream job, not worry about raising my kids with big finances, and hopefully I could support my family. I go be ski patrol in Colorado.
Oh, sweet.
And I don't know what the fuck I do in the summer. I love skiing. I haven't done it that often. I went every year in the 90s and half of the aughts, and I've only been twice since 2011. And
damn,
so when I almost died from COVID, back in 21, we decided. So I got out of the hospital, in September, and we decided to try to go skiing in Christmas.
Yeah, let's go find some thin air.
Yeah, I about died. I had to get a machine to breathe for me, and we came home 2 days early.
I bet.
But anyway, so if it's the dream thing, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, I love that.
And so I would do that, and then in the summertime, I'd probably go to beach town and be a lifeguard or something like that. And that's the stuff that I enjoy doing. That's what I like to do. Play a little golf, that's kind of stuff. And if I could make a little money doing stuff like that. Now, if it comes to what I would do, if I were to rethink my life and I could do it, I would start a plumbing or HVAC company. Back when I was in my 20s, I would become one of those, and then I would be a $20-30 million company now. And I am starting a plumbing business this fall. When we're cash rolling big time, I am adding plumbing to my business.
Hell yeah!
We did it once before, and we just had a bad experience with the master plumber we hired. And I wasn't the company I am now then. This was quite 10, 15 years ago. So I'm not who I am. I am now who I am now can do that. So
that was a great answer. That's 2 great answers. You hit it all. I dig it. Well, Chad, I say this all the time when we get to like 2 hours in. Like, I feel like we just started talking, and I'm like, oh shit, we're like 2 hours and 10 minutes in. Where the fuck did the time go? It doesn't surprise me if you would have said, oh yeah, you and Chad are going to talk for a little over 2 hours. I'd be like, okay, yeah, that sounds about right. But it's awesome catching up with you as always. We still need to go hunting together and go kill some stuff and eat it. That's got to be thing. Not we gotta go golfing together too. It sounds like we gotta go
Well,
drink some beer and go.
I want in on that. I want in on that August or September trip we talked about.
I am gonna. This is like I haven't officially started this, but it's gonna happen, and I think we just renamed this today, which is I'm starting a business mastermind. That's not it's a business mastermind, but it's not mastermindy in the sense of most masterminds where it's like you get together with an intent to mastermind. This is going to be business owners where we get together with the intent to hunt and fish and hang out with other business owners. And we will talk a lot of business stuff because when you hang out with other business owners, it's just what you talk about. I was going to go with outdoor business owners, and then that changed to business owners outdoors, which was Boo. And that changed to business owners outdoors badasses, Boob. Is I think where we we're gonna be Boob Inc. We're gonna be Boob LLC. We're gonna go with Boob. Yeah, Boob LLC is what we're gonna be. Business owners outdoors badasses. 4 events a year. Gonna try to do 4 events a year. Everybody's gonna like pay a due, and it's gonna be like kind of invite only. You can't join if you're not fucking awesome. Like it's intimate outdoors experiences, right? 4 events a year. We'll do an ice fishing one. I think in the fall it'd be fun to do a duck hunting one. We'll do some ocean fishing. We'll maybe do some hog hunting. But just like anything where you can get a group of 5 to 15 folks together and do an awesome. And if it's more than that, we'll like coordinate, whatever. I'll have an admin in that business to like help coordinate these things. Probably won't be able to do like a whitetail hunter and elk hunting trip because it's too intimate. Like it's too onesie twosie. Duck hunting would be sweet. Pheasant hunting, fishing. You can do a ton of fishing stuff. We do a boundary waters trip. We do an ice fishing trip. Ocean fishing would be fun. Duck hunting would be a total blast.
I think hog hunt in Texas. Hog hunt's easy for
hog hunt would be a blast. So anyway, like that is, I'm legit gonna get that going and start sorting that out and sending out personal invites to like build up the folks that would be good to be in that group. So you're invited, FYI. But that'll be a lot of fun. They're just a good way. I go to a lot of conventions and I appreciate conventions. And as a vendor at all of them, like they're good for my business. But the best part of all of them every time is the stuff that's not organized. It's always the BSing. It's always the having a beer with people. Any business mastermind I've been to, the best part is always the social aspects where you actually really dig into each other's business. And it's not an activity. It's just loose. It's business owners doing what business owners do. It doesn't need to be coordinated. We don't get the most value out of that. We're entrepreneurs.
Learn more at the bar, at the smoke, or in the smoking lounge than you do anytime at any of the stuff that they're giving courses on and stuff like that all the time.
Always.
Yep.
Well, and a lot of those things are meant to sell you something. When you're just hanging out with good people, nobody's trying to sell anybody anything. So like real value exchange happens. So we're going to do that. There's not going to be an agenda. It's just going to be 3-4 days. We're out doing this thing, chasing these around, cooking this, hanging out. We'll figure out like if it's getting outfitted or who's outfitting it or how we're coordinating that stuff. We don't want I want it to be work because as like business owners, we do like doing work. That is like a fun thing for us. So it's not going to be like everything catered, blah, 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 blah. Like I want it to be an activity where we're like working. Like I do a boundary waters trip every year and like we're canoeing in, we're portaging a bunch of shit. We're setting up camp. We're hands on. We're cutting wood. We're frying fish. We're going fishing, all the stuff. Like it's a whole shitload of work and it's fucking amazing. It's what we like to do. So that like, there'll be some harder ones. There'll be some easier ones and you're just like on the list. Right. And so you don't have to opt into every one. There's no obligation to opt in. But here is a thing, which is if people opt in, they got to pay up front some like sort of down payment. Cause this happened to me 2 times this year where I was like organizing a trip and half the people backed out. And I get schedules change, but like that creates a whole fuckload of obligation for somebody planning the trip to try to fill those holes. The money's already called for, like the person's already booked, the outfitter's already booked, the trip's already planned. And so what we're going to do is like, if you opt in, you pay and that money's in. It's a deposit. It's in. The money doesn't come back to you if you opt in and you have to bail. Totally get if people have to bail. Plans change, whatever. But then if that money stays in, that money goes to support the event that everybody else is at. So you're just paying for everybody's like food and beer and whatever. But it's the way we keep the world going round. Keep the world
if you opt in, you pay. There's no deposit.
Yeah.
You should pay.
Yeah.
If you don't show up, that's on you. That's not my problem.
Yep. So we're going to do that. But Boob.
I'm in.
Boob is starting soon.
I'm a boob.
I'm a boob too. I'm going to be a boob. It's going to be great.
I want to be a boob.
I always wanted to be a boob.
I can imagine the shirts that we'll build out of this.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be some great boob shirts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I didn't even think about paraphernalia. Yeah, we're going to have to sell merchandise. We're going to have to sell merchandise, which will support our outdoors events. And the best part about it, Chad, is now when you buy a new gun or fishing pole or anything, it's a business expense because it's a mastermind thing because we got business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's on Boob. Boob's got to have gear.
I got to get my 300 blackout is what I got to get right now. So
sounds like something you need for hog hunting for a boob event.
It is. Mm-hmm. Oh, brother, man, this has been 2 hours, 15 minutes. And we could talk so much more, but I have got to go to bed.
I got to pee. You go to bed. I'm going to pee.
Well, I'm going to pee before I go to bed. And I might even drink one more beer. You know, I've got a nice little two beer, little feeling good thing going on. So
I like the sound of that. Well, Chad, appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out. I'll send you an official boob invite once I get the boob started.
We need to book me again on the show. No more waiting a couple years. We just find your schedule, book me again.
Let's do it. Anytime. I love it.
All right, cool. And I'm going to get David sticked on you too. I'm talking to him tomorrow.
Yeah, let me talk to your finance nerd. We'll play some catch. We'll play some finance catch. Business nerds, home service homies, thank you guys for tuning in. Do me this. Sean Day and I, two quick things. Sean Day and I have our recruiting webinar. I think the last time I talked about it, I said every week. It's every other week. So not next week, but the week after on Tuesday, we're doing episode number 2 of that 5-part webinar, which is going to be all about writing sexy job ads, not job descriptions, job ads, and using AI to do it. So that's going to be sweet. Sean's got some cool tools for everybody. And do me this, which is, this is like a new podcast. I had the old Bookkeeping Beer and BS podcast, but now this is the Home Service Happy Hour podcast. So go get that podcast. Go do the thing where you follow it and get it. So if you don't get to hang out with Chad and I live, you get to catch us on the podcast later once Jairus gets it produced. So go, it's on the Apples, on the Googles, on the Spotify's, whatever. Go grab the podcast, follow it, and catch it there if you don't get to catch us live. I do love it when you catch us live, though, and you drop a bunch of comments in because that's fun. We like that shit. So thank you for everybody that commented. Thank you for everybody checking in. You guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn some pride. Good night. Cheers.